I don't get hurt, no, I get even. Best believe it's heartbreak season. I'll bring rain and I'll bring fire, and you won't know peace. You won't know peace. You won't know peace. You won't know peace. No, no. You won't know peace. Best believe it's heartbreak season.
What's good, gang? Know what I'm talking about? What's good? Hold on, man. Hold on. I gotta do something. My screen gonna go black for a second. I gotta do something real quick, y'all. My lights ain't on in the back. Give me like, hey mods, just keep spamming it. He's coming right back in the chat. If I hope it don't fuck up my live, but I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Okay, we good? Y'all can hear me? We good in the back? We good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Let me know in the chat. Are we good? Hey y'all, hold on. Let's run that back though. That's some. Hey, we this is coming, y'all. There's some shit, exclusive shit right now. I gave y'all some exclusive shit. Y'all don't even know what I just gave y'all. But drop the gems if we good in the chat, man. Drop the gems. Let's go, man. We back. We back. We finna go in tonight, y'all. We finna go in. Hold on 1 second. Let's go. Let's run that back real quick. Let's get started, John.
I used to believe in you. Hung on to every word you said. Thought it was me and you, but you had other plans instead. You couldn't stay true. You welcomed her into our bed. You must have lost your mind. You must be out your head. Yeah. 'Cause you're a snake, you're a liar. I'll bring rain, I'll bring fire, and you won't know peace. You're a clown, you're a fool, but the joke's on you, 'cause you messed with me. I don't get hurt, no, I get even. Best believe it's heartbreak season. I'll bring rain and I'll bring fire, and you won't know peace. You won't know peace. You won't know peace. You won't know peace. No, no. You won't know peace. Best believe it's heartbreak season.
Hey, no, I'm tone bite, no, I'm tone bite, no, I'm tone bite. We back, Ratchet Gang. We back with another one. We back with another banger. Let's get the likes up. Look, you might have forgot. Hell, they might have forgot. But you already know it's the king. Too loyal, no tone back, Ratchet TV. Hey, y'all already know, man. Y'all already know. Get the likes up if you in the building. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Tap that notification bell so you can get the drop whenever I drop. All right, so boom. Man. We gotta talk, Ratchet Gang. We gotta chop it up. Look, tonight we gotta get into what the heck is going on in this world. If y'all know this channel, y'all should have knew I was not gonna stray away from the tough topics, the stuff that we need to talk about, the stuff that we gotta talk about. I've been going viral over there on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, but specifically TikTok. I've been dropped my last couple of little. Let me see, man. We doing numbers. Oh, and by the way, my TikTok is fully monetized now. We got the subscriptions over there and everything now. My TikTok is completely monetized now. One of them I dropped is at 305K. That's from yesterday, and another one from yesterday I got 208K. So one of them taking off. So we've been over there covering this stuff over there on TikTok, man, and Facebook and Instagram. Now, you got to follow me everywhere. I say that because I'm not just saying it just so I can get all my followers. But if you think about it, my Instagram is completely separate from my YouTube, which I do promote my YouTube on my Instagram, but my Instagram is completely separate from YouTube. So if you follow me on YouTube, you're probably gonna see something you didn't. I don't even talk about this shit on Instagram. It's some shit over there on TikTok that I don't even be going live talking about this type of stuff. I just drop videos on TikTok sometimes or Instagram. If I drop it on TikTok, it's on my Instagram, it's on my Facebook. So all those are kind of the same type of. If you follow me one place, you're probably seeing the same thing everywhere else. But sometimes I might just drop a video on TikTok and leave it there, and I don't even post it on Instagram or Facebook. But 9 times out of 10, I post everything on everything. But I say all that to say, make sure you following me everywhere, man, because we touch the tough topics on everything. Even if my voice ain't in it, bro, I'm dropping videos so y'all get the scoop. I don't even gotta say nothing. You just look at it, you like, oh, hold on, fam, what's going on over here? So make sure y'all follow me. I did a poll in the chat and I asked y'all. And by the way, what y'all think about that new jam? What y'all think about that new jam? That's gonna be one of them ones, man. That's some brand new shit. Nobody even heard that yet. It was the first time anybody ever heard it. So and it's not even done yet. But salute to the chat, man. What do you guys think? Do you agree with the Iran bombing? Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. I see 28% of the chat says yes, he had no choice but to. And 72% of the room says no, now we will go to war. So not a lot of people have voted on that poll yet, but it seems like some people are saying, hey, we might have to go to war, and I don't like that. So does anybody know the real reason any of this stuff is even going on before anybody jumps to conclusions or says anything? Does anybody know where this kind of stems from? Well, allegedly, and everything I say is alleged, and it's all under the Fair Use Act, and you can see the Fair Use disclaimer in the description of this video and in the description of all my videos. This is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is just to educate my people on what we've been covering over here. Like I said, it's all under the Fair Use Act, and you can see the Fair Use disclaimer in the description of this video, and everything I say is alleged. Allegedly, y'all. How my lighting look in the back? My bad, y'all. I did not even have my lights all on when I started. But how does my video look? How does my audio sound? Can you see fine? Can you hear everything fine? A lot of people been tagging me, telling me, Ratchet, you need to cover this. I've been getting a lot of people hitting me up on in the comment section on YouTube, and they like, Ratchet, when are you gonna talk about this? I'm like, man, if you followed me on, if you see me on YouTube, I've touched a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you go back to CERN, Antarctica, the ice walls, the Bible, hidden secrets in the world, hidden tunnels, children being trafficked, ex-trafficking, a whole underground organization. I've covered all this type of stuff. I kind of jump in and jump out because, you know what I'm saying, they be watching me, man. You seen me out there in New York. I'm out there at the Diddy trial, and next thing I know, someone, and people could say, this could just been paparazzi. Look, bro, I'm RatchetTV, fam. Let's just keep it a buck. I'm a big deal. Don't get me wrong. I'm a pretty big fucking deal. If you know, you know. But I don't think paparazzi was out there taking pictures of me. You know what I'm saying? It could have been. It could have been. I could just be tripping, and it could have just been a regular dude just snapping pictures. But I'm telling y'all, and I know this don't got nothing to do with what you're talking about, but it got everything to do with everything has everything to do with everything. So I'm gonna be all over the place, but I'm gonna land the plane. All right. So anyway, I'm out there in New York. I'm covering the case, and I'm giving the gems on the live like I'm doing right now. I'm just talking, you know, I'm animated. I'm whoop. People is looking at me. I'm watching everything in my surroundings though. You know what I'm saying? If y'all watch me on the live, you see my eyes is everywhere but I'm in a position to where I could see everything in the back of me. You know what I'm saying? I put it in a nice position to where ain't no way around this. I know this, so I can see everything clear in the back. But I just got to pay attention to things here. But I know can't nothing come through this way. It got to all be, you know what I'm saying? So I'm keeping an eye. If you just look at me, every time I was live, I kept looking around. So I felt something like weird when I was out there. I felt something weird was going on. I was like, what the fuck? I felt some weird energy. So I look over. Next thing I know, the dude looked like he could have been like, I don't even know what race he looked like. I honestly don't even, I couldn't even tell you. Y'all seen him in the chat. What race did y'all think he was? I thought like maybe possibly like Russian or, I didn't know. I couldn't tell what he was. Thank you, Capri, for the 15-piece. Salute to Capri. I appreciate you. Salute. Also, Clocked by T. Thank you for that 5-piece. I appreciate you, Clocked by T. Salute. That's $20 on the screen. Let's go. Double tap that screen and get these likes up. Let's go. All right, anyway, let me get back to the soccer land plane so we can start the show. So anyway, I felt some weird energy. What color did y'all think he was? If y'all remember who I'm talking about, the dude in New York when I was out there covering the case on live, and I looked over and I showed y'all like this dude was just taking pictures of me. What color did that dude look like to y'all? Said Diddy doing a documentary, Ratchet. Man, Diddy finna put the biggest movie together ever. And that Diddy shit finna be over next week. That shit gonna be done. They said maybe from the Middle East. They said, what's up? Salute, salute. Somebody said maybe, Cocoa Butter said maybe from the Middle East. Hey family, put your hands on the like button. It says Indian. Okay, I thought maybe like Iranian or something. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I just said Russian. I don't know. Maybe like Iranian, maybe like Russian. I don't know what he looked like. He didn't look like he was from around here. I just put it like that. He didn't look like he was from around here. They said, yeah, that was creepy. I was watching live. That dude walked off quick as hell. Yeah, but look, this is how I know it wasn't just paparazzi. Because paparazzi, look, I wasn't the only person out there. You got me, you got Armand Wiggins, you got Tisa Tells, you got all of us, and you got TMZ out there. You got whoopty whoopty whoop. You got this, you got CNN, you got Fox, you got all these damn people out there, and you got a regular dude. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big YouTuber, but at this time, I'm like, there's more people you could be taking pictures of other than Ratchet TV. You know what I'm saying? And it's just weird. The energy was just weird. So anyway, the dude was just I could see him take a picture. Like the flash came on. So then I look at him and I said, "Hey, you all right?" And the nigga just does like this. Again, he just stood there for a second. He's like, and I see the flash. I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, and then he just walks off. And then as soon as he walks off, I turn the camera around like, "Look, y'all, this dude is taking pictures of me. What the hell?" And he just had a camera in a bag, and he just jetted off. He didn't take pictures of nothing else. He just kept walking way that way. He just kept walking. Weird as hell. All right, but anyway, so I say all that to say you got to stay woke on everything because this situation didn't just happen because it happened. Just like that just didn't happen because it happened. This situation is an ongoing issue that's been lingering and now it's come to a head. But this is to stop a higher power that is being very evil and corrupt. And you're going to hear from some people from Iran, some Iranians that are saying these people is evil out there, fam. It's the whole regime that he's going up against. And if you put nuclear weapons into the hands of these people, allegedly, if you put that type of shit in the hands of these people, you're fucked. And the people that are back these people with this type, these people allegedly should not have access to this. They're gonna fuck up some shit, allegedly. So I'm kind of speaking in code. Just stay with me tonight. We gonna cover this, but it's a whole evil regime, allegedly. If you think I'm on point, drop the gems. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, drop the eyeballs, and we'll land the plane. We're gonna start this show in just a second. So let me know in the chat. Am I on point? Am I on point with that? Drop the gems. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, drop the eyeballs. If I'm just lying, drop the caps. Let me know in the chat. They said facts and look shaky as F. Said facts. Kimbo said she don't know what I'm talking about. Tab, okay. Natasha May Capri, Sweetum Moore. They said good evening, salute. Inquiring minds want to know. Salute. Okay, so people they picking up what I'm putting down. There's a few people picking up what I'm putting down. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, I'm going to educate you and I'm going to school you here. So I need everybody to double tap the screen and get the likes up. We about to start this live in just a second. But before we start the live out, let me, you know what I'm saying, because this live is sponsored. So let's go here. This live is sponsored by by www.myculpability.com. The Culpability app brings public safety and security to your hands. Culpability app users can instantly notify their predetermined emergency contacts and friend network in real time, providing direct access to video and or audio recordings during a police or citizen encounter or a situation that threatens public safety. You can create circles with friends, family, colleagues, etc. Culpability, myculpability.com. Make sure y'all tap in to myculpability.com. That's the sponsor for today's show. All right, so anyway, let's get back to it. So as we proceed to give the people what they need, let's see about this poll that I dropped in the chat. 33% of people say he had no choice but to bomb them. 67% of the people say, nah, we got to go to war. I'm not with that. So we need more people to vote on that poll, and we need more people to hit that like button. We got $20 on the screen. Let's get ready to start this live, everybody. Y'all ready? Is everybody in the chat ready to get this live started? If you are, drop them gems. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right, we got a lot to talk about tonight, y'all. So we got to get right to it. We got a lot to talk about. Let's go. We're going to cover this from every angle possible. All right, y'all. We're going to cover it from every angle possible, only like we do on this side. Big Ratchet Game. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. Let's go.
All right. I did a serious video about what's going on in Iran, but now I'm finna break it down in a nutshell what happened, all right? Okay, so from the beginning, well, somewhere from the beginning. All right. Netanyahu, I call him Yahoo. That's the man over there in Israel, right? He kept saying, hey, Iran got nukes, and I'm going to go and hit their ass up because they got nukes, and they keep saying they're going to wipe us off the map, so I'm going to just hit his ass first. Donald Trump said, okay, let me tell you what's going to happen. All right, I'm going to send my folks over there. I'm going to send Tulsa Gabbard over there, and she going to see if they got nukes. So she went over there with her intelligence team in March, and she said, hey, it look like they ain't got no nukes. And Trump said, all right, cool, that's fine. They ain't got no nukes. He done went and told Yahoo, listen, she went over there and checked. Rock and roller Ayatollah ain't got no nukes. She done went and checked. So I'm gonna need for y'all to chill out. And like my plan was, is peace, and we all finna make some bread. Well, Yahoo just wasn't satisfied with that shit because he war hungry. Looked like he wanted to stay in power forever, and as long as they at war, he gonna keep his seat. So he was like, nah, I know they got some nukes, and I'm gonna go over there and strike their ass. Donald Trump was like, hey, player, don't do that. We want peace. Well, Ayatollah Khomeini said, rock and roller Ayatollah, he said, death to America. Trump said, look, I already told you I ain't in that shit. I'm not sending Israel no money. I'm not sending them no weapons. I'm just not in that shit. Leave America out of this. We ain't fucking with nobody. We want peace over here, right? All right, they get into it. Israel going bomb their ass, and I'm talking about bomb their ass, right? So rock and roll Ayatollah was like, oh shit, oh this how we playing? All right, everybody finna feel it. Donald Trump said, hey, who the fuck is everybody? I just told you, America's not in it. We don't want nothing to do with this player. I don't know how many times I got to tell you, we want peace. We really want y'all to shake hands, but since y'all on that gangster shit, we just gonna bow out gracefully. They said that shit again, death to America. Everybody gonna feel it, sending out all them threats. So DJT ain't gonna take that shit laying down because he always been a G, uppercase G at that. So Trump was like, all right, bet. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen in 2 weeks, and then in 2 weeks, if we ain't broke a peace, then we gonna figure something out. Well, behind the scenes, DJT was like, well, I done found out you got 3 sites where you could have been making nukes. And so since you still talking big shit, big game player, I'm finna send some shit over there, and we just gonna get rid of that shit where you could have been making nukes, all right? Boom. So he gonna send 3 strikes. He just obliterated 3 nuclear sites over there in Iran. And when I say nuclear sites, I'm talking about where they could have been making bombs underground, right? So what they dropped could go through, like, I think 20 feet of concrete, you know, like the big shits, right? So they just went over there and they obliterated 3 nuclear sites. So Trump basically, from what I can see, is saying, all right, what you thought they had, I done went and took that shit away. Now you ain't got no reason to keep going over there and fucking with them. I told you I wasn't finna get rid of their supreme leader, rock and roller Ayatollah. He's still over there. And as for you, rock and roller Ayatollah, keep our name out your motherfucking mouth like I told you from the beginning. That's it in a nutshell. Now, we going to see how this shit go. North Korea pipe down, China pipe down. Because, again, we ain't scared of shit now, but we do want peace. Now, let's get together, stop all this beef so we can make some bread. That's it in a nutshell.
That's exactly what's going on. So that's for the people on my type of time. You know what I'm saying? That's a little urban breakdown. Now we're gonna get to some some other shit. We're gonna cover from every angle. We definitely gotta go the urban route. We gotta let everybody know, hey, look, this really was going down. Like, look, player. Look, player. All right, but anyway, salute to Ricardo for being a member for 10 months. He said, salute, gang. I appreciate that. Salute to Mimi for gifting those 5 memberships. I appreciate that. Salute. Also, the certified one, I owe you a phone call. Matter of fact, after my live, call me because I got to get with you about the business. I ain't forgot about you, though. Let's go, RG4L. Tap them likes. I love y'all, Ratchet Mods and Gang. This a deep A. Lover, wake up. I don't know what the hell you meant, but salute to the certified one for the 20 piece. I appreciate you. Salute. Also, Miss T, thank you for being a member for 15 months. Drop the flowers for Miss T. What's up, King, Mods, and Gang, RG4L? Salute to you. I appreciate you. Salute, salute, salute. All right, let's continue, y'all. So that's it. Do y'all kind of understand where we going with this now? Let me know in the chat because it's been going up. It's been going up all damn day, and ain't nothing stopping right now. It's looking like it's smoke in the air, and where there's smoke, there's typically fire. So an update, Qatar says there were no casualties as a result of the attacks by Iran. So Iran said, you know what? They tried to hit up a military base today. They said, you know what, America, we not going down, and but if we are going down, we going down swinging. Y'all came for us, and now we finna send some shit y'all way. So allegedly, they tried to do a little. They tried to catch us slipping, and there was no casualties. They didn't really. I mean, it really wasn't nothing they really did. They just tried to bomb up a military site, allegedly. An update: Iran has not received any ceasefire proposal and sees no reason for one. A senior Iranian official told CNN. No Iranian official told CNN. No ears. They said no ears to listen to lies of the enemies. So they saying, look, we ops now. So I don't know what the hell is finna happen, but they basically saying, look, we got ops. Double tap that screen. What are y'all thinking about this, man? Do we have ops in America? Are we in trouble right now, gang? Let me know in the chat. Are we in trouble right now? Somebody in the chat, please tell me, are we in trouble? I need to know. If we in trouble, I need to know, gang. What we gonna do from here? All right, so it says things are heating up overseas. A senior Iranian official just told CNN that Iran hasn't received any ceasefire proposal, and honestly, they're not checking on one either. According to the official, Iran plans to keep fighting until they secure real, lasting peace. And when it comes to statements from Israel or the U.S., Iran says they're not buying it. They called those remarks a deception meant to justify attacks on Iran's interests. At this very moment, the enemy is committing aggression against Iran. The official said, and Iran is on the verge of intensifying its retaliatory strikes with no ear to listen to the lies of the enemies. In other words, they're saying Trump lied. So they're saying Trump is a liar. What do y'all think in the chat, man? Is Trump lying right now? Are we in trouble? If Trump is lying and we are in trouble, drop the gems. If y'all ain't tripping off none of this and y'all want all the smoke, drop the caps. Let me know. Are they lying or is Trump lying? If Trump is lying, drop the gems. If y'all think we going to war and we some goofies out here looking goofy, drop them damn caps right now. Let me know. Drop the gems of the caps. How y'all feel? Is Trump lying to us? Or is he telling the truth, man? Let me know in the chat. Because we got to talk about this, man. This is an important topic that we cannot ignore it. So we about to get to this over here. I think this is the one I just played. I think that was the one I just played.
All right.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go here.
Today I authorized 2 operations in Iraq.
Said Trump just can't order those strikes. They saying Trump was wrong for sending them people his way. So when you go back deeper into the archives, you start to find some stuff, y'all. We gonna go there tonight. They gonna be mad at us tonight, gang. We ain't tripping though. Let's go. We're not doing no tripping.
Today I authorized 2 operations in Iraq. Targeted airstrikes to protect our American personnel. Last night, on my orders, America's armed forces began strikes against ISIL targets in Syria. Today, at my direction, the United States launched a targeted operation against that compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan.
They did what?
Today, I authorized the armed forces of the United States to begin a limited military action in Libya. Because
Libya? Oh shit, I ain't never heard of Libya.
That's national security. They can take the diplomatic.
So at the end of the day, the question all it comes down to is y'all really mad at the strikes, or is y'all just mad at the person who did it? because Obama did the same goddamn thing. But we didn't hear nobody talking about he bombed the country and shit. He didn't bomb no fucking body. These are military operations that go on throughout our country. This is why we have a military, the armed forces, the Marines, and all this shit, and have all this equipment that's worth billions of dollars. This is what this is for, to do stuff like this, operations. Where do you think they came up with the game Call of Duty, nigga? Like, y'all liberals think y'all slick though. But best believe it, I'm on y'all ass all day though.
Exactly. Where do y'all think they came up with Call of Duty? Think about this, gang. Where does the word ops come from? People act like the urban culture created it. No, the urban culture kind of adopted it by playing what? The urban culture only got that word ops because of what? Can anybody tell me what was the reason? Salute to Nails by Felicia for being a member for 37 months. I appreciate you, Nails by Felicia. She says, gang, get the likes up. Thank you for being a member for 37 months. Drop them flowers for Nails by Felicia. Salute, salute, salute. I appreciate that. Man. I say Iran, you say Iran. I don't give a damn, nigga. You know what the hell I'm talking about. Shut your goofy ass up. Anyway, they said black operations. Exactly, black ops. Opponents, ops. Ops came from Call of Duty, y'all. Everybody got that damn saying from Call of Duty. Everybody only adopted that name because they put the in Call of Duty is strictly I don't know how many of y'all have actually played everybody gets on there and plays Warzone, but not many people actually play the story of Call of Duty. If you actually get in there and play that story, you start to see, fam, what the hell is they doing? Is they giving us the secrets to everything? Because if you really pay attention to their storyline, they be dropping some gems and it be some weird stuff about the government, military. I ain't gonna get too much into it. If you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna say. If you have played the game Call of Duty, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. You know I'm not lying. They be dropping some gems in that damn game. Let's continue, y'all.
All right, so it looks like we're going to war. Last night, Al-Qaeda sent out a message basically stating that he is activating all of the sleeper cells, all right? The leader of Al-Qaeda said for every able Muslim to prepare, Now, from what the CIA has stated, how this is gonna play out more than likely is you're gonna have activity popping off in different cities, LA, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Dallas, like just all across the nation. You're gonna have things just popping off. There's gonna be so much commotion that you're not gonna be able to keep up with everything. Last year there was a guy that crossed the border. When they stopped him, he said, "You don't know who I am yet, but soon you will know." Now, the internet did its research. He was one of the main leaders from Al-Qaeda. So these are the type of people that we have here right now. Now, there's over 1,000 sleeper cells across the U.S. and things are looking pretty ugly, all right?
Does anybody in here know what a sleeper cell is? Drop the gems if you know what a sleeper cell is. Drop the eyeballs if you don't, and I'm finna educate you right now. Let me know in the chat, do you know what a sleeper cell is? If anybody knows what a sleeper cell is, drop the gems in the chat. If you don't know what a sleeper cell is, drop the eyeballs. Let me know in the chat. Come on, y'all. Everybody participate. Let's go. Let's go. Everybody participate. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. So if you don't know, a sleeper cell is a group of secret agents or operatives who are placed in a target location, not to immediately engage in any action, but to remain dormant and concealed, waiting to be activated for future missions. These agents blend into local population and maintain a low profile, often for years, until they receive orders or decide to act on their own. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Dormant state. Sleeper cells are characterized by their inactivity. They are not actively involved in any operations or intelligence gathering until activated. Covert placement. They are placed in a location by an organization or government with the intention for using them for future operations. Long-term presence. The agents in a sleeper cell may live and work in the target area for extended periods, often years, to establish themselves and blend into the local population. Potential for activation. They are essentially a reserve force that can be called upon when needed, or they may initiate action based on their own circumstances or directives. Fear of the unknown. Sleeper cells are often associated with fears of a hidden enemy within a society, as they operate in secrecy and can emerge unexpectedly. Examples. The term is frequently used in discussions of I ain't gonna say that word. Like people that are terrified, but y'all know the rarerism. I ain't gonna say the word. And they say it has been the subject of media such as the TV series Sleeper Cell. So those are what they're saying. They're finna start popping up all over America. They're saying a bunch of sleeper cells are entering into enemy territory, and I'm guessing that we might be the enemy. So if you start seeing a lot of weird stuff going on around here, like people taking pictures of you and just walking off, and they looking like they might be a sleeper cell. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man. If y'all seen the shit that happened to me in New York, man, hey, it's getting a little spooky around here, man. It's getting a little spooky around here. Let's continue, man. Let's go. Let's go. If y'all liking the content, if you like the content, double tap the screen and let's get these likes up, man. Let's go.
Would you support the United States getting into the war with Iran?
No, not a chance.
What do you think should happen?
Precision strikes, just precision strikes, get rid of any ability for them to have a nuclear weapon, but no boots on the ground, never again. Countries like Iran, you can't allow them to obtain any sort of a high enriched uranium to make a weapon. If they want to have nuclear energy, that's another thing, but highly enriched uranium isn't meant for nuclear energy. That's only meant for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to make a bomb.
How dangerous are these people over there in those parts of the world?
The people of Iran are great people. If you look at Iran in the 70s and the 80s, it was very much like any other country, first world country. But with the Ayatollah and with the extremists, taking away women's rights and education, they went backwards instead of forward. They damned themselves a little bit. The people are fine. It's their leadership that needs an adjustment.
And should the United States go after that nuclear weapon that they are apparently building?
1000%. Yeah.
You would support them going into the war?
Yeah, I would. It wouldn't be a war, so it's not a war.
So say they did enter into this war, how long would you think this would last? Do you think it'd be one missile, one bomb, and it's over?
I think it's never just one bomb. I think if you're looking at, it'd be a tiered precision strike. So it'd happen in phases, but it wouldn't be something like Bush's coin fight, the counterinsurgency fight with Iraq, Afghanistan for 20 plus years. It wouldn't be a continuation of that. I think Trump would live up to his word of it being just, hey, we're just going to strike this and that's that. I don't like the fact that we have to get involved in stuff like this, but when you have a country like Iran who potentially they're working diligently to try and get a bomb, that's scary. That should be scary for any American or anyone in the Western world.
What do y'all think about that? So they're saying, look, we do. So a lot of people saying they support what Trump is doing right here. Make sure everybody is following me on TikTok. Make sure stop, Diamond, lay down. Make sure everybody's following me on TikTok, man. My TikTok is the RatchetTV, as you see right there, the RatchetTV. Everybody go support me on TikTok. Now, if you see these videos right here.
Смотри, идет сюда. Офигеть, сейчас. Вот, видели эту волну? Просто жесть. А как светло было, вообще какое.
So allegedly, they saying this won't even be a war. This is going to be so easy. Like, this will be over. It won't be instantly, but damn near. They going to fuck around and find out. If they decide to engage in a war, this ain't going to, like dude just said on the screen, there ain't going to be no war, fam. I mean, you can call it that, but this shit going to be, and we dare a motherfucker to step in this shit. Please. Please. Ain't nothing. It ain't finna be no impeachment. As much as you want to call for it, it's not. You might not agree with the methods, but with the madness, you'll understand the methods. Let's continue.
My God. Seriously, यार. ये क्या हो गया है?
ये तो चांद है भाई।
चांद है, इधर से भी आ रही है, इधर से भी आ रही है। आज हाइफा पे अटैक है भाई। हाइफा पे अटैक है, हाइफा वाले पूरी घूम भी नहीं।
फक है भाई
ये तगड़ा सीन सॉन्ग रिकॉर्ड करता है। ओ भाई चोती ब्लडी फक। वो ये सर के ऊपर भी आ सकती है, डिब्रीज गिरती है। ओ फक, इधर क्या हो रहा है? वो गिरा। जहाज भी गिरा है यार अपने। जहाज भी गिरा भाई, अपने जहाज भी गिरा। ओ माय गॉड।
वो ये क्या हो रहा है भाई? ये गिरा, ये फटा वो फटा भाई, कब तक फटा भाई?
So let me ask y'all something. If I'm telling y'all sleeper cells are on their way over here, what do you guys think? Don't you think we already got sleeper cells over there? Trust me and believe me, there's a bunch of sleeper cells floating around everywhere.
madam.
Make sure y'all follow my TikTok, man. Make sure y'all go follow me on TikTok, the RatchetTV. Yeah, we going up over there. Make sure y'all follow me on TikTok. All right. So as y'all see, look, man, this ain't finna be no war, man. I mean, you can call it what you want to, call it whatever you need to, but nah, bro, it ain't looking like. I think this is the one I just put. It ain't looking like it's gonna be no war.
Would you support?
I mean, that's what they're called, but I doubt very seriously it's gonna be one.
I just want to know what the fuck Iran mean. Everybody can get it. See, I don't like shit like that, because growing up in a black community, a black household, when you say shit like that, that's like walking in the room and saying, "I slap everybody in here." No, the fuck you won't.
Look, Iran said, look, all y'all can get it. Anybody can get it. So they've been talking real tough. And hey, look, old Don T said, look, bro, we ain't going. I don't know what y'all on, but we ain't going. But look, that dude, he trying to figure out what did they mean by that. Talking about, look, anybody can get it. They talking to everybody. Like, you ain't talking to me, fam.
I just want to know what the fuck Iran mean. Everybody can get it. See, I don't like shit like that, because growing up in a black community, a black household, when you say shit like that, that's like walking in the room and saying, "I slap everybody in here." No, the fuck you won't. The fuck you mean everybody can get it? I ain't even realize how fucking patriotic I fucking was until I read that shit Iran talking about everybody can get it. The fuck you mean? I'm a retired YN. You don't say shit like that. Boy, I like to go enlisted in the fucking Marines just to go get on y'all ass when I read that shit. Cause you ain't
Yo, hold on.
Boy, I like to go enlisted in the fucking Marines just to go get on y'all ass when I read that shit. Cause you ain't talking to me. You the fuck ain't talking to me. I know damn well you ain't mean CEO when you say everybody can get it. You better address that shit to who the fuck you talking to. You better address that shit. I got some Iranian friends, but listen, don't tempt me, brother. Iran, don't y'all need to recant that shit. Take that shit down, talking about everybody can get it. Y'all acting like y'all Y'all acting like y'all new to this shit. This America. This what the fuck we do. We go to fucking war. That's what the fuck we do. Why you think everybody in the world know not to fuck with us? Cause we don't give a damn about pushing it. We'll push it. And listen, this another thing. Iran they been tempting us and going back and forth with us for the longest. Why y'all mad? Cause now we got a president that got the fucking balls to do what need to be done to address the shit. Y'all must forgot what the fuck happened to Iraq. Y'all don't remember? Nah, see what it is? Y'all been used to pushing over Pepper Joe. Now you got somebody with the fucking balls to do what need to be done, and y'all can't take that shit. Man, listen. This what America do. Name one time in history when somebody tried us and we didn't take that shit to war. What that song say? Take that shit to trial. We taking that shit to war. Nigga, what the fuck y'all talking about? Y'all act like y'all new to this shit. Y'all act like y'all new to this shit. But Iran don't say that shit no more. We're talking about so everybody can fucking get it. Man, don't make me go enlist. Don't make me fucking go enlist and not, dude. Don't make me do it.
Look, he said he ready to just go on to the military and say fuck it and go and see about this shit himself. Look, but just think about it, fam. Everybody mad, but could you imagine somebody walking in your house right now, you in there cooking, just chilling with your husband, with your wife, with your cousin or whoever, and then somebody's walking in and saying, I'll slap the shit out of everybody in this room. Man, tell me you wouldn't turn your neck like, whoa, who the hell is that? Yeah, do it, please. I dare you to do it. Y'all gonna let them talk to us like that? Ain't no way in hell somebody finna walk into my house and be like, man, I slapped the hell out of everybody in this damn room. Say something. Something? You want me to spell it too? Shit. The hell we talking about? Talking about anybody can get it. Everybody can get it. Man, you better go address that shit to who you got beef with. You better talk about them people over there fucking y'all up right now. You really don't want this with us. You better go talk about them people out there fucking your whole shit up. But we ain't even got started yet. But you know what? Since you want to talk, let's get started tonight. We already got people already out there waiting. There's Doritos flying in the air. Your whole shit finna get fucked up by a Dorito in the air. Could you imagine that? You see a damn Dorito size, you see them little things look like Doritos. Y'all know what I'm talking about, them damn little things they had out there fucking everything. Man, boy, y'all better quit playing with us. Y'all better talk to the people over there already on y'all ass. This ain't what y'all want. I'm just be real with y'all. This ain't it.
Y'all see this Patriot hat, so you already know what's coming. Impeach Trump. AOC really opened up Twitter, put her little Twitter fingers to work and said Trump should be impeached for bombing Iran without authorization. What? Amazon Prime that shit and hit buy now. Don't nobody want that shit sitting in the cart.
Salute to Dundada for being a member for 20 months. Said smash that like button. Thank you, Dundada. Drop the flowers for Dundada.
Breaking news, sweetheart. When Iran is out here cooking up uranium like it's a meth lab in Breaking Bad, you don't wait for a group project to come together. You press the big red button and he hits in.
Yeah, you gotta press that red button on these motherfuckers.
Then you go to bed like a boss. You want to impeach Trump for being the commander-in-chief with actual fucking balls? For defending American lives without groveling at the feet of a bureaucratic circle jerk? The only thing that should be impeached is your logic.
He said, look, your logic should be impeached, not Trump.
Trump isn't your boyfriend asking to borrow your Prius. He's the commander-in-fucking-chief. When national security is on the line, he doesn't need Congress's permission, your permission, or Jesus in cargo shorts to nod an approval. No permission slips, just payloads. The War Powers Act says he can act in a national emergency. You know what's an emergency? A country screaming death to America, while at the same damn time spinning uranium like it's a fucking fidget toy.
And you gotta think about that. They're saying death to America, bro. Like, they're talking directly to all of us. So you think the person at hand, the person in charge of everything, whether you like the person or not, you know, they the head honcho. It's like going to work and knowing that the CEO of the company is walking through that door. Now, if the rules are you're not supposed to have no ear pods in your ears and you hear the big bosses coming in, ain't no damn earplugs. You know, everybody finna respect the guy. You say what you want when he leave, but you know that you respect it. That's where you gotta work at. You make a living here. You gonna respect him. So I ain't saying look, you understand what I'm trying to tell y'all, though. The motherfucker saying, look, bro, it's time to go to war. Y'all just got to stand on 10. Look, it is what it is. These people, they screaming, hey, we finna slap the hell out of everybody in this room. All right, well, I expect the head honcho to be like, Nick, I wish you would try to slap me. Let's get it. Let's go, y'all. All right, let's continue.
Trump didn't risk starting a war. He shut one down before it even started after giving their ass time and opportunity to give up their shit, and they failed to do so, and met with stonewalling. The word of the day, boys and girls, is prevention. That's called being a grown-ass adult with a fucking launch code. Obama lit up half the Middle East without asking for a fucking hall pass. Biden launched into Syria with no oversight, and then forgot he did it by dinner. I bet you weren't screaming impeach then, but now that Trump knocks out a nuke site, suddenly he's a war criminal? Girl, sit down. You're the same person who thinks banning plastic straws will stop hurricanes. Agatha Christie over here, y'all. You're real forgetful. If we're impeaching people for doing their jobs without asking you first, then let's start with your stylist for dressing you like a Ross mannequin having a panic attack. And while we're here, impeach is what exactly? His vibe? His patriotism? His accuracy? Because he sure as fuck didn't miss. In case you forgot, this is the United States of America. We don't ask for the okay to defend ourselves. We slap the threat before it slaps us. That's not illegal. That's how you stay on top. We don't need your permission. We just need coordinates. God bless America, and don't forget to tip your B2 operator.
Man. So looks like a lot of people are split on this, and we're gonna cover it from both sides. Look, I'm not biased. I'm gonna cover it from both angles. It don't matter. Let's go.
Hey everyone, historic day in Israel. Historic day. President Trump just did what no other president would and no other prime minister could. The nuclear sites, Fordo, Natanz, Isfahan, they have been crippled. Everyone here in Israel waking up feeling a breath of fresh air. Steal the cliches, right? The monkey's been lifted off. I mean, it's incredible what's happened here. A historic moment. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. There's still a long way to go, and we don't know exactly what will happen in the days and weeks to come. But the fact that President Trump used American military power, the strongest and greatest military in the world, to take out the big bad bully of the Middle East. First, I'll say this. Did you know bullies don't have friends? Bullies only have people that they think are friends.
How the hell do we have 847 votes on the poll and only 428 likes on the video? Everybody double tap the screen, man. All you got to do is tap the screen twice to like the video. We should already be at 1,000 likes by now. Everybody in the room, double tap the screen. I'm giving you premium content. All I'm asking for is a donation. I mean, I'm not even asking for a donation. All I'm asking you for is a like. But if you do want to donate to the channel, we got $40 on the screen. $40? Go ahead and donate to the channel if you want to. $ RatchetTV for the Cash App if you want to. If not, then if you don't want to donate, all you got to do is double tap the screen. Let's go.
Their friends aren't really friends with them. They're only afraid. Notice how no one has come to Iran's defense. No one has come to Iran's defense. Not China, not Russia. Amazing what President Trump has done in coordination with Israel. And I want to just say one thing about the media who's missed the big picture here. They've missed it. I'm listening to the media and they're saying President Trump was going to decide in 2 weeks. No, he never said that. What did he say? Listen, he said, I will decide within 2 weeks. And they wasted no time. This was coordinated. It was coordinated with Israel. It was coordinated with Prime Minister Netanyahu. The Iranians have never been weaker. And now President Trump says, you must come to the table. You must negotiate. We'll see what happens. If there's a regime change, if the Ayatollah is ousted, he's hiding in a bunker somewhere, apparently with no communication. If he's ousted, that wasn't the purpose of this. The purpose of this is when somebody's threatening you, the bully in the sandbox, and when they threaten they're going to hurt you and injure you, at some point, the bully's going to get punched in the face. That's what Israel just did. Israel just punched the big bad bully in the face, the bully that has no friends. Israel, on the other hand, has friends in the United States, but even more so. Israel's friend, the God of the universe, the God who never slumbers or sleeps, the God who says, I'll never leave you or forsake you. That's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Historic, huge day in Israel. And we got a front row seat.
What do you guys think, man? This is the time. What a time to be alive, man. What a time to be alive. We might get to witness greatness. Let's go, gang. So let's go back here real quick. Iranian Supreme Leader, Ayatollah, Mr. Ayatollah. This was May 17th, 2025. Now I'm gonna have to break this, you know what I'm saying, all the way up for y'all. So we finna chop it up. Let's go, gang. Are y'all ready for this? If you know about him already before I start exposing this man, drop the gems in the chat if you already know about this man, Ayatollah. If you don't know, drop the eyeballs. Salute to Dundada for that 20-piece. I appreciate you. We got $60 on the screen. We 40 away from a honey bun. Support the channel if you want to. All right, y'all. Do y'all already know about Ayatollah? Drop the gems. If you don't know about Ayatollah, drop the eyeballs. Let's continue. Some of the things that the U.S. president said in his recent video to the regime
در این سفر رئیس جمهور آمریکا به منطقه مطرح شد لایق
are not even worthy of a response.
جواب دادن نیست اصلا.
They're saying Allah Akbar. This is they want smoke with us, y'all. These are the people that want all the smoke with us. Death to those who oppose the rule of the jurisprudent. However the fuck I don't know how to say that. Death to America, death to England, they're saying. Salute to Ian Soph for that two-piece. I appreciate you. Salute. Death to hypocrites and infidels. Death to, and they're saying they want death to everybody, bro. That's their chant. The level of things he said is so low.
اینقدر سطح حرف پایینه که مایه سرفکندگی گوینده حرف
That shames the speaker himself as well as the American people.
و مایه سرفکندگی ملت آمریکاست. اونا رو کنه.
I am not going to comment on those things. Nevertheless, we need to pay attention to some sentences.
یکی دو جمله رو باید روش توجه بکنیم.
Trump said that he wanted to use power for peace. He is lying.
ترامپ گفت که میخواد از قدرت برای صلح استفاده کنه.
Salute to excelling for that two-piece. I appreciate you. Salute. They're back to saying death to America. This is that they put this on Front Street for all of us, and y'all didn't want us to do nothing about that. Look at what they saying, bro. Y'all gonna let them do us like that? That's like they just wrote hit them up. You know what I'm saying? They just tried to drop who shot you. You know what I'm saying? It's like dropping who shot you, so we got to go hit them up. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. He and other senior officials in the American administration have used power to perpetrate a massacre in Gaza. To stir up war wherever they could. And in order to support their mercenaries. That is what they use power for. When have they ever used power for peace? Indeed, one can use power for peace and security.
از قدرت می شود برای صلح و امنیت استفاده کرد. به همین
This is why we will increase our power and the power of our country every day.
دلیلم هست که ما به کوری چشم دشمنان هر روز بر قدرت خود
whether the enemies like it or not.
به قدرت کشور انشالله اضافه خواهیم.
And then it's back to saying there. Kamani is the leader, they're saying. They're going with whatever he says. Death to those who they're just saying death to everybody, bro. What do y'all think about this, man? Salute to Ranger Oi for that 5-piece. It says, regardless, Trump did lie. He's been lying, and tacos on every policy. Tacos on every policy. By the efforts of the nations of the regime.
به همت ملت‌های منطقه آمریکا
America should leave the region and leave it will.
از این منطقه باید برود و خواهد رفت.
In this region, the absolute source of corruption, war, and discord.
اون نقطه مایه فساد، مایه جنگ، مایه اختلاف رژیم صهیونی است.
Is the Zionist regime, which is the lethal, cancerous tumor of the region.
رژیم صهیونی که غده سرطانی خطرناک مهلک این منطقه است، حتما باید
It has to be uprooted, and it will be uprooted for certain.
برکنده شود و خواهد شد.
What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that, man? Interesting, right? Interesting. I told you I got a good show for y'all tonight, man. I got a real good show for y'all tonight. Let's continue.
We've got breaking news coming out of Iran against America. Iran's army commander said in the history of the Islamic Republic, every time the Americans committed a crime, they received a decisive response. That this time they can expect the same decisive response. So they're saying that we committed a crime against Iran. They're saying their military is coming at us. They said this last night. They said, you destroyed democracy, United States, and you can expect, you're going to receive a military response. We're trying to figure out the timing and how we're going to do this. We saw Iran call upon Hezbollah to hop into this and intervene in this. We saw the Houthis denounce a ceasefire agreement a day ago. And just today, we saw Russia, China, and North Korea all come together and prop up Iran and say that there's people who want to give Iran this weapon now, and they're going to be making these weapons in these nuclear facilities extremely quick now. They're going to accelerate the process. Despite all this happening, all the chatter, the shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, which is going to jack our economy off, they're saying, you've got to walk in faith and not in fear. We know what the Lord said. We know what Jesus told us to do. Keep the course. Keep your eyes fixed on the Lord. Yes, pay attention to what's going on per the biblical narrative, but keep your eyes on the Lord. I'll let you know what happens.
What do you guys think about that, man? We are in, this is really a more of a spiritual war than anything, dog. This has been going on for so long. It's like the tension has been so thick. We've all known that this day was gonna come sooner or later, dog. Let's just be honest with each other. The tension been in the air. It's been a lot of weird stuff going on, especially with the stuff that came out the ocean, up in the sky. You know what I'm saying? The CERN stuff, portals being open. There's a lot of evil on this earth right now, and this all will be exposed in the end. That's all I got to say. Let's continue.
So Donald Trump decided to bomb Iran nuclear facilities. And to the naked eye, it looks like it could have been a successful bombing, as this is only one of the 3 nuclear facilities that was bombed by the U.S. Then he decided to address the nation and let everyone know that the bombing was a complete success, or at least he thought it was. Images released from a before and after picture of Fordo's bombing shows that it wasn't that much done, as the ground does not look penetrated. Keep in mind that their nuclear facility is 90 feet underground, so I don't think that they really touched anything. Then it was reported.
Interesting, right? Interesting,
one
right?
of the 3 nuclear facilities that was bombed by the U.S. Then he decided to address the nation and let everyone know that the bombing was a complete success, or at least he thought it was. Images released from a before and after picture of Fordo's bombing shows that it wasn't that much done, as the ground does not look penetrated. Keep in mind that their nuclear facility is 90 feet underground, so I don't think that they really touched anything. Then it was reports that the country had evacuated the personnel from the 3 nuclear sites in advance, days before the U.S. bombed the sites. Iran State TV tweeted that every American citizen or military in the region is now a target. Then Iran's supreme leader has issued a serious warning declaring that Americans should expect greater damage and heavier blows than ever before. And because of this, major cities around the U.S. are on high alert. Now, all these cities are on high alert because...
Let's see what cities are on high alert right now. So if you are in any of these cities, you should probably be very, very careful. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm in one of these cities. So Washington, D.C. If you're in Washington, D.C., be very careful. New York, the entire state of New York. San Francisco, California. Santa Clara, California. Los Angeles, California. San Diego, California. Houston, Texas. Arlington, Texas. Dallas, Texas. Oh shit, man. This is where we're at, guys. Boca Raton, Florida. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Orlando, Florida. Tampa, Florida. Boston, Massachusetts. Plainfield, Illinois. Chicago, Illinois. Cleveland, Ohio. Laurel, Maryland. Potomac, Maryland. Don't know if I said that right. Herndon, Virginia. Springfield, Virginia. Raleigh, North Carolina. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Charlotte, North Carolina. Detroit, Michigan. Columbia, Missouri. Kansas City, Missouri. Denver, Colorado. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Tucson, Arizona. And Seattle, Washington. If you are in any of those spots, those are war zones, allegedly. If you are in any of those spots, you should be on high alert because those are alleged targets for a war zone or something popping off for the war.
Of the U.S. bombings. I wonder if it's hit him now that he fucked up. So Donald Trump decided to...
What do y'all think about that, man? What do y'all think about that? Let me know in the chat, gang. Let's continue. Let's continue. Get the likes up, y'all. Double tap that screen. Let's get it to 700 likes. Let's go.
Oh my God. I just found out the truth about the bombings in Iran. You're not going to believe this. This is insane. This is incredible. First of all, you're not going to believe this. It was not the United States. The U.S. didn't do it. Second, they were not nuclear sites. So here's what happened. A few weeks ago, I posted a video about a big announcement that Trump was going to have, that he was going to make at the White House. That announcement was that we've made contact with aliens. Yes, aliens. And he was going to introduce them at the White House. But they got called away. That meeting was delayed because they got called away to an emergency galactic summit or conference, whatever it was. But what I didn't know was the purpose of that emergency meeting was that a rival faction of aliens stole a very, very powerful weapon from our alien friends, and they hid it somewhere. It turns out, it took them a while to figure it out, but it turns out that they hid that weapon, and this weapon was much more powerful than a nuclear weapon. They hid that weapon somewhere on Earth, and it was narrowed down to 3 particular places that it could have been. All 3 of those places were in Iran. So we think that it was the US that bombed these 3 nuclear weapon sites, but it wasn't. It was the aliens. They did it. Yes, the aliens did it to destroy their weapon that could be catastrophic to the Earth. Isn't that unbelievable? Isn't that amazing? I don't know how they kept this from us, but they did. What do you think? Tell me in the comments.
What do you guys think about that? Interesting logic, right? Like, wait. But if you think about it, I'm not saying it was or wasn't, but think about this. I know y'all like, man, this motherfucker crazy. But there was just a whole epidemic that we all forgot about. Us as the US couldn't be any more green than we already are, because there was just drones coming out of the ocean. There was just unexplained drones in the sky, and these wasn't even normal drones. These were like the size of like XL truck in the sky. And everyone was like, that's not a fucking drone, bro. That's like a mini helicopter. What the fuck is, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? There was shit coming out the ocean. There was stuff going into the ocean back from the sky. There was a bunch of weird stuff going on. And then once it all came out, there was like, we got a big announcement to make. And they were supposed to announce it. But then it was like, oh, no, those were just regular drones. Those were just everyday people, hobbyists, just flying their drones. There were drones going over military sites. Y'all don't remember this shit? And it wasn't just in America. They were everywhere, all over the world. There was unexplained drones everywhere, and nobody ever explained it to us. Y'all forgot about that, though. How did y'all forget about that? There was just unexplained drones in the ocean and in the sky. No one to this very day has said a fucking word about it. And we all just forgot. Thank you, Certified One, for that gifted membership. I'm just saying, lay down, Vasilis. I'm not saying that's what this was. I'm just saying, look, there's some other stuff going on, dog. There's a war going on within a war. Y'all better stay the fuck woke. That's all I'm saying. Let's continue.
There's three ways the Iranians can respond. One, strikes on U.S. bases. Two, a strike here on the homeland with some kind of sleeper cells. The other thing that would completely change the world economy would be shutting down the Strait of Hormuz. That is the 21 miles that go from Iran over to the Gulf states. 21 miles of the Strait of Hormuz that a quarter of the world's oil supply goes through, and Iran could easily use its Navy assets, that's its mines, that's its fast attack boats, and then hundreds, if not thousands, of anti-ship missiles that are mounted and on cars and on trucks that can drive all along the Iranian coastline. This is the nightmare scenario the U.S. Navy has been training for up to 20 years to keep the Strait of Hormuz open. Is it really a match for the U.S. Navy?
You're asking me, could they do it? And I think what they can do is they can temporarily paralyze the straits. In other words, they can take an action like dumping mines, floating mines into there, moving those, as you mentioned, the cruise missile systems. Although if they move those cruise missile systems in the open, I'm pretty sure the Israeli Air Force will visit. So they could do that. But very rapidly, the U.S. Navy and U.S. Air Force would create the conditions to remove them. And I'll tell you, the regional countries, the Gulf Cooperation Council, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Kuwait will also contribute forces that help us clear the straits and maintain the flow of fossil fuels.
Man, this is about to be some shit. We done got into some shit, y'all.
Of the Trump administration, because there's new reporting that is saying just that. And this is happening at a time when Donald Trump has bombed Iran, and reporting just came out minutes ago that is saying that the bombing was a failure. Donald Trump lied to the American people. Let's get right into it. Before we get to that, I want to just show you this quick clip, because we're seeing now what the Fox News propagandists are going to say about any sort of terrorist attack. They're going to blame Biden.
But we had Mike Pompeo on earlier, Brett, and he talked about, I asked him.
Salute to Spiller the Driller for the 20-piece, says God bless us all. I appreciate that 20-piece. Salute.
About the open border that we had for 4 years, the known terrorists that have come across that border. He said, yes, that was indeed a concern here on the homeland. Thoughts on that?
I think that's a huge deal. And
but we had...
Yeah, so anything bad that happens, they're going to blame on Biden for the rest of this administration. How long does someone have to be president until they take responsibility for what happens in the country? I kind of feel like you should start taking responsibility on day one, but maybe that's naive. Now, you might remember that Donald Trump said that they obliterated the nuclear sites.
The three key nuclear facilities. Their objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity, and Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Never mind the fact that he really can't speak. That's stunning. Let's just watch that one more
The
time.
3 key nuclear facilities. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity, and Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Completely and totally obliterated. Here is Pete Hegseth saying very similar, and then we have photos that prove otherwise.
Iran's nuclear ambitions have been obliterated. Many presidents have dreamed of delivering the final blow to Iran's nuclear program, and none could until President Trump. The operation President Trump planned was bold and it was brilliant, showing the world that American deterrence is back. When this
Okay.
Get the likes up, y'all. Get the likes up. What do y'all think? Are y'all following along? We got $89 on the screen. We got $89 on the screen. We're $11 away from a honey bun. Let's go, y'all. Let's get the support up. But are y'all following along on this content? Let me know if y'all are following along.
All right, and then of course, Donald Trump tweeted this really weird account. This someone said, "What a time to be alive, President of the United States doing battle damage assessment via sketchy OSINT accounts. I had blocked this particular account some time ago." Yeah. But this account said, "Fordo is gone." Well, my friends, Fordo is not gone. According to the New York Times, Iran's Fordo site said to look severely damaged but not destroyed. Initial military assessments of the buried nuclear site contrast with the statement on the strike there made by President Trump. And you literally can see right here that it's still there. These are the puncture wounds right there for the bombs. You can, I think, is there another one? No, that's the puncture wound right there. But as you can see.
So allegedly, this is the real pictures of what those facilities look like right now after what we did, allegedly. Allegedly. Salute to Keith Edwards for this. Salute to him.
Not obliterated. Not obliterated. Here's more information. The Israeli military, in initial analysis, believes the heavily fortified nuclear site at Fordo has sustained serious damage from the American strike on Sunday, but has not been completely destroyed, according to 2 Israeli officials with knowledge of the matter. The officials also said it appeared Iran had moved equipment, including uranium, from the site. So it could be that what we talked about before, that Iran was saying that they moved the stuff because Donald Trump was stupidly telegraphing what he was going to maybe do. So they moved it.
So allegedly, they were already tipped off by somebody. There's a mole somewhere, somehow, but they also said when he gave those 2 weeks, look, they already had moved shit because they, like, look, he potentially might do some whoop-de-whoop. But then allegedly they got sleeper cells and they might got some corruption inside of the biggest places that you probably don't want to be corrupted. Not even speaking on the police, I'm speaking way bigger than them. Are y'all following along with me? Ranger Orr, thank you for the 5-piece. Says historically, war brings the 3rd term in America. War was the point. Checkout page. Salute. I appreciate that. Thank you for the 5-piece. But allegedly, they had already moved this stuff, allegedly, before we even bombed this stuff. They said, look, what y'all was looking for. That's like you finna rob a trap house, but they already got tipped off because somebody was your op that came to, hey, you know they finna rob y'all, bro. You know what I'm saying? They finna hit a lick on y'all tonight. Y'all better get this shit up out there. Hey, we gone, bro. Or they know the police been tipped off and the police finna raid the spot and everybody, you know what I'm saying, before they ain't got to flush it. They finna just move everything to the next trap.
A senior U.S. official similarly, acknowledged that the American strike on the Fordo site did not destroy the heavily fortified facility, but said the strike had severely damaged it, taking it, quote, off the table. The person noted that even 12 bunker-busting bombs could not destroy the site. Incredible. General Dan Kane, the new chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, reiterated this, saying that the initial assessment indicated that all 3 sites sustained severe damage and destruction, but added that it was too soon to say whether Iran retains some nuclear capability. So here's where it's going to go, friends, is that Donald Trump is going to make everyone believe that it was obliterated, no matter what. No matter what. And I don't know how long this general will be around if he is contradicting Donald Trump. Now, I just want to show you this clip because here's what George W. Bush said about weapons of mass destruction, which turned out to be not true. And then listen to what Pete Hegseth said. And then I have clips of Congress people acknowledging that there was no need to do any of this.
The fact that he develops weapons of mass destruction, seriously. But we can't let the world's worst leaders blackmail, threaten, hold freedom-loving nations hostage with the world's worst weapons.
Well, I would just simply say that the president's made it very clear. He's looked at all of this, all of the intelligence, all of the information, and come to the conclusion that the Iranian nuclear program is a threat, and was willing to take this precision operation to neutralize that threat in order to advance American national interests, reduce the Iranian nuclear program, and obviously collective self-defense of ourselves.
So history, I don't know if history ever repeats itself, but it quite often rhymes. And this certainly does sound like it rhymes with George W. Bush. Now, here's Congressman Himes saying, I had not seen any intelligence as a member of the Gang of Eight to suggest that Iran had taken the decision to build a weapon.
Salute to Real Peoples for that 5-piece. I appreciate you. Salute, salute, salute. Are y'all liking the content? We got 1,300 votes on that poll, but only 678 likes on the video. Man, y'all double tap that screen to like the video. Let's go. Are y'all rocking with the content? Let me know by liking the video.
Yeah, look, it's been the same story now for decades, right? Which is that the Iranian regime has been making progress towards the development of enough uranium to do a weapon. And if you just look at sort of kilograms of uranium, it's a pretty scary number, right? And the IAEA made this point that they were enriching. Now, creating a weapon is a lot more complicated than just having a bunch of highly enriched uranium, right? It requires a lot of mechanics and technology to actually build that weapon. And of course, it requires the determination to do it. Now, on the second two things, I had not seen any intelligence as a member of the Gang of Eight to suggest that Iran had taken the decision to build a weapon. I don't think there's any intelligence out there that suggests that that's true. And secondly, while it's a little hazier because you don't know what you don't know, I think that our intelligence community and other intelligence agencies around the world believe that Iran was still a fairly long way from being able to put a weapon into a missile that they could use to deliver a weapon outside of Iran. So it's a pretty murky picture intelligence-wise. My own view is that this timing of this attack had an awful lot more to do with the fact that the Iranian air defenses were down because of the Israeli strikes of several months ago, and the fact that you now had a regime, a president in the United States, Donald Trump, who was likely to be far more amenable to this than the previous president was.
Far more amenable, I mean, far more gullible. And of course, Tulsi Gabbard said the same thing.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003.
So everyone has said that there is absolutely no intelligence that backs up the reason for us to bomb these nuclear facilities. Now, I'm not saying that, I don't know, maybe perhaps there was intelligence that only Trump saw. I don't believe that. It could be a possibility, but the fact that we took this action with no buy-in from the American public, with no briefings to members of Congress prior, it's unacceptable. And frankly, it feels unconstitutional and illegal. And because of what Tulsi...
It's not unconstitutional. It's not illegal. If he felt like there was a threat for war and a threat to the American safety, he had every right to go do what he did, if that's the case.
Tulsi Gabbard said there, apparently she is on the outs with Donald Trump. Trump berated Gabbard for the video she posted to people briefed on the conversation. He said that her discussion of nuclear annihilation would scare people and that officials should not talk about it. After the video was posted, the president also told Ms. Gabbard that he was disappointed in her and wished she had used better judgment, according to one of the two people briefed on the conversation. He told Ms. Gabbard that he believed she was using her time working for him to set herself up for a higher office. Mr. Trump told Ms. Gabbard that if she wanted to run for president, she should not be in the administration, one of the people briefed on the meeting said. And then one more quote here. Trump said this, which is probably the biggest sign that she's on the outs. He said, Bobby's a star, meaning Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but then he said, Tulsi wants to be a star, in other words, implying that she doesn't have what it takes to work in politics. Interestingly, Tulsi did not attend a key meeting at Camp David where Ratcliffe presented assessments about Iran's nuclear program. That's not the first time she's been iced out. We are learning too that as Trump is facing this crisis that he's created, he's not leaning on Pete Hegseth or Tulsi Gabbard. As Trump faces critical decision about whether to join Israel's military strikes against Iran's nuclear program, perhaps the most momentous of his presidency, neither Gabbard nor Hegseth played starring roles as members of Trump's inner circle of advisors. Now, I know this is real because Pete Hegseth responded like this. The secretary is speaking with the president multiple times a day, each day, and had...
Salute to Belinda Scipio for being a member for 10 months. Says, why are they talking about him? He does what he... Hold on, what did the end of that say? He does what he loves. He loves this king. Salute, I appreciate you for being a member for 10 months. Drop the flowers for Belinda Scipio.
Has been with the president in the Situation Room this week. Secretary Hegseth is providing the leadership the Department of Defense and our armed forces need, blah, 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 blah. So let's just recap, shall we? We have a president who lied to us. We have Fox News who are saying anything bad that happens because of this is because of Biden, not Trump. We have members of his cabinet who are also lying. We have evidence of the lying. And then we also have, we just know that through people in the administration and other members of Congress, that there's no intelligence to support this bombing. The truth will come out, it will come out. The important thing is that we stay tuned on independent media sources because we're not going to get bogged down by the lies, and we're going to only report on the truth. So please just stay tuned here, and we will figure this out together. And I'm so grateful you are here with me right now. Thank you.
Salute to Keith Edwards for that. Says, Leash, thank you for being a member for 17 months. Drop the flowers for Leash. Meanwhile, Congress just passed 2 weeks ago the crypto bill no one is talking about. Salute to Leash. Maybe that's something we got to get into. Belinda Scipio, thank you for the 5-piece. Says, love this channel, King. Well, I love you for being a part of this channel. Thank you. I appreciate you. Salute, salute, salute. All right, let's continue, y'all. So like I said, just because, look, I don't even agree with everything the guy just said, but I will cover every angle of every story, man. You know, I'm never gonna be biased. So when I talk to y'all, it says a look at the weapons used in the U.S. attack on Iran's nuclear sites. So didn't I tell y'all a Dorito took them out? They got took out by a Dorito. But if you look closely at this, hey, look, that don't look like something a fucking alien to be up. And I'm just saying, like, I don't know if those are aliens or not. I'm just saying that if they was, they probably will be riding in something that look a little bit like that. What y'all think about this, man? I don't know, dog. Everything is just looking a little weird. I don't know. I don't trust nothing. This is allegedly what it was, man. What y'all think about this? What y'all think about that? Man. Allegedly, that's how they was doing. Look at that. Let's look at that one more time, gang. What do y'all think about this, man? Tell me in the chat. What y'all think about this? Double tap the screen. Let's get it up to 800 likes. Double tap the screen to like the video. Come on, y'all. Let's get it to 800 likes. Let's go. Man, salute to Reese Cup for that 20-piece. Says salute Ratchet Mods and Ratchet Family. Amazing live tonight. Get the likes up and support Ratchet for all he do. I appreciate you, Reese Cup, for that 20-piece. Salute, salute, salute. Yo, that shit look crazy as hell, right? Man. Man. There's some weird stuff going on in this world. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. We still got a long way to go, gang. Let's continue.
I'm going to give you guys the real reason we bombed Iran. It has nothing to do with anything you're hearing on the news, and it's probably going to change your perspective on our political process, which is good because I'm a political strategist, so I hope this does change your perspective. Question for you, why hasn't Trump's big, beautiful bill passed? It could have passed at any time. It's been held up in the Senate. What do Senate Republicans believe? Or who are Senate Republicans beholden to? It doesn't just have to be the Senate. Think of House leadership as well. Trump has been negotiating this landmark bill with the Senate. And now that Trump has bombed Iran, what is he stating? He bombs Iran, and now he's saying, let's get my big, beautiful bill done. So now that he's bombed Iran, now his bill's moving. If you haven't caught my drift, there is no doubt that if Trump wanted to get his bill passed through the Senate, Senate Republicans made him or heavily suggested to him that something about Iran needed to happen. Welcome to politics in the most powerful country in the world, where when you want to get legislation passed, sometimes you have to bomb a country. And you don't have to believe me. All you have to do is look at the sequential events that have followed since we've bombed Iran. And ask yourselves very simple questions like, if we have a Republican House and Senate, why are we going after Iran before the bill's been passed? Because the Senate knows it has leverage over Trump and can say, hey, Trump, if you want to get what you want, give us what we want. And we want bombs on Iran.
What do you guys think about that? Man. Let's continue, gang.
Okay, so boom, so the Iranian foreign minister Abracadabra gave a speech at the UN Council meeting, looked everybody square in their face before he put his glasses on and said, so what we not gonna do is sit here and act like all of us didn't witness that old illegal ass, aggressive ass shit America pulled last night when they bombed our nuclear facility. And you could tell he was hot because at this point he ain't even looked down at the speech he had on his paper yet. He looking everybody square in their face, no glasses on or nothing yet. And he like, I'm sitting around here politicking at these meetings and shit, talking to different people, trying to be diplomatic and shit and solve the problems y'all think we got. And America over here talk about, so we got 2 weeks. Well, I guess their president was too weak to come holler at me like a real diplomat, because when I wasn't looking, he went behind my back and bombed our nuclear facilities in collusion with Isiana. At this point, he puts his glasses on and proceeds to let everybody know Iran don't appreciate that shit. And whatever come after this is going to be on America. Because we fucking told y'all, if y'all tried us and y'all played with us, we was going to have something for your ass. He also said that Iran's nuclear facilities was peaceful and they wasn't bothering nobody. So peaceful, in fact, that they didn't have Nettie look spooked since like the 90s trying to figure out if they really even existed or not.
Most dangerous of these regimes is Iran. I believe that only the United States can lead this vital international effort to stop the nuclearization of terrorist states. But the deadline for attaining this goal is getting extremely close.
Salute to Paul for the 5-piece. Thank you, Paul. Salute.
Time is running out. By next spring, at most, by next summer, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage. From there, it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks, before they get enough enriched uranium for the first bomb.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon
in a very short time.
He went on to say, America, that shit y'all pulled was lawless, it was criminal, which is to be expected because y'all president is a felon, and it was illegal as fuck. You are in violation of the international UN charter rules. He also said America is ghetto, aggressive, and outrageous. He also pretty much said that America is some scandalous, slick-ass motherfuckers, and they can't be trusted, and at this point, the UN can't let this shit slide, because if they do let it slide, it's gonna lead to bigger problems. He also has some smoke for the Americans in America, because he said, yeah, y'all president, get 47 perm, he slick and all, because he betrayed us, but now look at y'all. Y'all sat up here and voted for him because he said he was gonna be the president of No More Forever Wars. Now this motherfucker all in the middle of our shit. How you feel about that? But building on that, not only did he say, yeah, and y'all president not only slick played y'all and deceived his voters, he said, but he allowed, what do you call him? He said he allowed a war criminal who has grown accustomed to exploiting the wealth and the lives of American citizens for their own gains. He was talking about Natty Loke. I mean, long story short story long, he pretty much asked the UN Council, so is we just finna let these lawless criminals have us fucked up like this and have the whole world in chaos because they don't want to follow the rules and shit, or is we finna do something about it? Because it's our responsibility to make sure something is done about this shit, okay? The US is a permanent member of this bitch. They gotta follow the rules too. So basically, he said what Big Perm just pulled was in violation of the prohibition of use of force according to Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the UN Charter. Let me know if y'all want me to break that down. And basically, the UN Resolution 2231. Let me know if y'all want me to explain both of them. How did they all deserve?
Man. So there's a whole lot of smoke in the air, man. It's gonna be some shit. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's gonna be a war, but it's about to be something. And it's something in the air. Something is definitely brewing. I think we can all say that something is most definitely brewing.
So boom, U.S. bombed Iran, and then right after that, everybody online started talking about a false flag. Not happening overseas. We're talking about right on U.S. soil. And if you don't know what that means, a false flag is when something crazy happens, but it looks like one group did it, but it's set up to justify a big reaction, if you know what I'm talking about. And here's where it gets deeper. A lot of people think it's not just about setting up war, y'all. They think it's about setting up control. I need y'all to look around. Every global crisis lately ends with more power in fewer people's hands. Pandemic, we gave up rights. Cyber threats, they push global internet control. Financial collapse, they roll out central bank digital currencies. They're creating a perfect storm to introduce the one world system. And nobody see it coming. Well, not a lot of people. They want one currency, one set of IDs, and one set of global law. No real nations, just one structure. And they're not even asking, they're building. So the US bombs Iran, boom, then tension rises. Then something happens here, which causes mass chaos, panic, and fear. Then they step in and say, this is too big for any one country. We need a global solution. And that's how it starts. You won't even see it as a takeover. You will see it as a rescue. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but if a false flag pop off soon, don't just watch for the smoke. Watch what gets built while everyone's distracted. That's the real move. That's what you gotta look out for.
But if you pay attention, I mean, we've been doing this. Y'all didn't remember the fires, the strategic fires in Maui to build that smart city? Y'all didn't realize those the strategic fires in the exact same fashion, being the ones in California, the wildfires in the winter, and there's a smart city coming right there, and they were going to stop at nothing to get that smart city. Watch what's going to happen in Austin, Texas, and a few other cities. Look at the lithium thing that they did out there in the Carolinas, North Carolina. I want to say it was Raleigh. No. It was Asheville. It was Asheville, North Carolina, the leaders of lithium in the world. And what did they do? They went and created a whole, I would just say, scene there to get all the lithium that they needed because they were trying to get the lithium, but they wouldn't let them get the lithium. So like, okay, well, fuck it, we're just gonna take it. So I mean, if you really pay attention and study us, we've been doing this. This ain't the first time. Look at 911 back in the day. Remember 9 whoop-de whoop? And we went and took that shit from them. Like we just wanted to take some shit. We created weapons of whoop-de whoop, and then we said, hey, look, we going to get the weapons of whoop-de whoop, but then those weapons never existed. So we was like, oh, we was gonna pretend like they exist, allegedly, and then we was gonna take out our own people, allegedly, and then we was gonna go get the shit, allegedly. But we're gonna cover up our asses by knocking down these two, San Antonio, David Robinson and Tim Duncan were named as the Twin Towers. We're just gonna knock David Robinson and Tim Duncan down, and we're gonna be cool because all our secrets are never gonna be exposed, and this is going to the death. I don't know, man. Maybe I don't be knowing what the hell I'm talking about. Y'all tell me. Let's go.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment.
But what do y'all think about him saying it was a very big success and then them coming out with them pictures saying otherwise? Like, wait, they moved that shit out of there already a week before he even came through, or days before. He already gave them a warning and they wasn't even there. And on top of that, it didn't even hit the ground, underneath the ground. It didn't fuck up nothing. So I don't know, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that.
Facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight. Not even close. There's never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say, we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
What do y'all think about that? That was President Trump's speech regarding what he did. He's saying, look, he's standing on what he did, man. He ain't tripping.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raising-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say, we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
President Trump speaks. Let's continue, y'all. Let's continue. We still got a long show to go. Let's continue.
Remember, we were bringing you some of these messages coming from major cities around the country about what they are doing to ramp up security in their respective locales, in New York, D.C., also in California there. A live picture over the New York City skyline. Remember, we were hearing from the NYPD today this. And I think we have it there, the NYPD. So they're saying this. We're tracking the situation unfolding in Iran. That out of an abundance of caution, we're deploying additional resources to religious, cultural, and diplomatic sites across New York City and coordinating with our federal partners, saying we'll continue to monitor for any potential impact to New York City. Now that's the NYPD. Live picture there. Let's go across the country to Los Angeles. A live picture there at LAX. We're hearing from California Governor Gavin Newsom. This, he's saying, following the president's action in Iran, California's State Threat Assessment Center is actively monitoring for any potential impacts there in California. And so you can see there, he goes on to say, while there are no specific or credible counter threats we are aware of, At this time, he goes on to say, we urge everyone to stay vigilant and report anything that they may see. Also, we're hearing from Washington, D.C., Police Department there putting out this statement saying the Metropolitan Police Department is closely monitoring the events in Iran. We're actively coordinating with our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners to share information and monitor intelligence in order to help safeguard residents, businesses, and visitors in the District of Columbia, saying at this time there are no known threats to the district. However, MPD has maintained an increased presence at religious institutions across the city. They say we continue to urge the public to remain vigilant and help keep our community safe. They say if you see something, say something. So in the meantime there, that is from the DC Police Department coming in. So like I said, many of these metropolitan cities nationwide, they are on high alert, sending more security personnel and details to some of these cultural and religious sites in their cities, just as safekeeping, to be extra cautious.
Get the likes up, gang. Get the likes up. Everybody in the building, get the likes up. Are y'all keeping up with tonight's content? What are you guys thinking? Are we in trouble or are we comfortable right now? Y'all let me know. Let me know in the chat. Are we comfortable or are we in trouble? Let me know in the chat. Let's continue.
If you guys weren't alive in 2003 or you were young enough to not know what was happening, what led us into war with Iraq was exactly what just happened today when the president bombed Iran. The only difference, the one and only difference between what happened today and what happened back in 2003 is that there was fierce debate back in 2003 over invading Iraq. As a matter of fact, that debate had lasted quite a long time, several months if I remember. And my sister was deployed in November of 2002 to a country in the Middle East. And that's when I knew that we were gonna invade no matter what. But she was deployed around Thanksgiving of 2002, and we didn't invade until March of 2003. The other thing is that organizations like Fox News and right-wing media, they were fairly new at the time. Fox News didn't come out until 1996, and this all happened in 2002. So it was only about 6 years old at the time. And we were also on the heels of the 9/11 attacks. So terrorism was at the forefront of the American psyche. So there were a lot of things that are a bit different than the war in Iraq versus the war in Iran. The intelligence that got us into Iraq was fabricated. Colin Powell, he was Secretary of State at the time, he went in front of the United Nations and he gave his case. The United Nations approved Resolution 1441, and we went into Iraq, okay? It was all done legally, just with fabricated evidence. This, however, was not done legally. There was no debate in Congress. There was no debate at the United Nations. And it just happened unilaterally. So this is actually worse than 2002, in my opinion. This is also the same guy that just allowed for billions of dollars to be cut at the Veterans Affairs, billions of dollars to be cut in science, billions of dollars to be cut in infrastructure, billions of dollars to be cut in God knows what. They weren't doing that back then. But if indeed we do put boots on the ground in Iran, you are sentencing an entire generation of men and women to a lifetime of trauma if they make it out alive, because that's what's happening to my generation. That's what's happened to millennials, right? Millennials who went to Iraq and went to Afghanistan now have terrible trauma from war, and you're just doing it again to Gen Z. And the sad part is, it was Gen Z men who would most likely be the ones to go to Iran who voted for this. It just boggles the mind, just how little we learn from history and how quickly we're doomed to repeat it. Anyway, let's hope for the best. That's all I can say.
Hope for the best, man, but we don't know what's going on. And someone was like, enlighten me. How are we in trouble? Look, man, anytime there's smoke in the air, somebody could be in trouble, man. You never know what somebody's capable of. You never underestimate your opponent, right? Iran, sets American flag on fire. What is this about, gang? What they got going on here, man? What these boys got going on? They almost set their whole shit on fire trying to be cool. Boy, they almost set that whole place on fire trying to be cool in there setting. Boy, what the hell? Y'all almost burnt the whole building down doing that goofy shit. Hold on, let's continue. Yo, this is wild. What the hell is going on, y'all?
Hey everyone, it's me, Jeremy. June 21st, 2025. It is roughly 9 p.m. Eastern time. We have breaking news. Donald Trump has just announced that he and the United States have successfully joined the fight in Iran, and they have run a successful operation bombing Iran. There are also rumors that an EMP was used.
What was used? Hey, y'all, we need 150 people to double tap their screen and get these likes up to 1,000. Can y'all just double tap the screen? Let's go.
He is going live at 10 p.m. Eastern to give the details about what he calls a historic, successful operation. This is the war that we've been trying to warn you guys about. Do you think that they're just going to sign a peace deal now? Or do you think we're going into a new world? Do you think that it's time for Israel and the United States to meet their karma? Because they've been running amok over there in the Middle East for a very long time. You can buy whatever narratives you want to buy, but the aggressor has been shown. We see who the aggressor is. There's no more ignoring it. You've watched Israel over the last year. It is what it is. And now the United States is just going to go ahead and say, yes, daddy. So your men and women are already being sent over there. Next, we wait the draft. That's what we wait. That's the next step, right? We're going to be waiting on the draft. So, guys, I guess a official declaration is probably on the way. But if you need an official declaration to convince you that we're at war after this, you are asleep, and you might as well just stay asleep, because this world is just going to eat you up, because I don't know what else you need to see, guys. My name is Jeremy. Please like and share this video, guys. Please get yourself ready, spiritually first and foremost, guys. If you believe in a rapture, a shift, a way out of this, you better be working on that now. You better be fasting, detoxing, praying, meditating, grounding, being service to others, being of love and not fear, being in your heart and not lost in the narratives that they're pumping on you. See, I share these scary subjects, but if they scare you, that's because you're not connected with spirit. You don't know how this really goes down. You don't understand that you're the eternal being and this is a temporary experience. You don't get to live forever, and you don't get to take your fortune with you. Okay, so whatever you're fearing, that's on you. This is not fear mongering. This is giving you the information, and all I've ever done is give you actual tangible plans on what to do. And I've always made sure to emphasize your spirit, your spiritual armor, your Merkaba, your aura. That is your first and foremost focus. Then after that is bug out bags, comms. You want all that kind of stuff. I've talked about this. Get your bug out bag, guys, because you're going to be forced to be mobile at some point. Whether it's a climate situation, economic situation, or war, you might have to get in your car or get on foot and leave, and it would be really nice if you had something prepped and ready to go. So go study a bug out bag. The essentials are obviously you want food, you want water, a life straw, you want comms, you want maps, compass, you want Faraday bag if you can. For EMP, you want a little power bank, crank radio, a solar power power bank. The essentials, guys. Think off grid, think survival. Figure it out. You got a little bit of time. So this isn't fear. This is get your shit in gear, all right? Whatever happens, happens. So what? You got a little camping bag after this is all said and done. Peace comes to earth, whatever. We can all have a big laugh. But right now, the stage is set, and I'm reading the room. What else can you do? Obviously, diversify into some cryptos right now, guys. It's about to pop off into crypto. The economies are going to crash, and they're going to move into this blockchain technology for security. So the top 4 that I'm invested in right now, ChatGPT, myself, and Spirit came to these as the conclusion for the most probable for 100x profit to help you during hyperinflation, to get away from a crashing US dollar. So DAG Constellation, Quant, Kaspa with a K, K-A-S-P-A. ZBCN, and then XMR is your number 5, but that's your off-ramp, that's your privacy coin. Pull your gains, get into XMR as a stable coin situation, and then diversify the best you can into land companies that are going to be successful during hyperinflation. If you're in the stock market area, you want drones, earth minerals, things related to the war. You want to make money off of their game so you can combat their evil afterwards, all right? We need resources. This is a spiritual war, but we need resources.
Okay, so he giving some game, and y'all know Ratchet be behind the scenes making a lot of money, doing a lot of investments, and you know what I'm saying, I'm big up on the stock market, trading, options trading. I'm big up on a lot of this stuff. So if you ever want to get with me as a team, and we got to come up with a game plan, y'all, because like he's saying, the dollar is gonna crash, bro, at some point. You got to know this. You got to know that at some point, one or another, you better invest something into crypto. You have to. As much as I don't care about none of that, you should. Or you're going to be broke as hell out here. You better learn something. You better learn this AI technology. You better, oh, my dog's in there barking. You better learn this AI technology. You better learn it quick. And you better get on this damn crypto. Let's continue. Let me go make my dogs lay down. I'll be back.
This guy. So just read the narrative, follow the energy. That's why I'm not in XRP and XLM right now. I love XRP, XLM. It's what led me to crypto spiritually. I understand the Phoenix Rising moment, but I don't have a lot of money to sit on right now and wait for the end game. I need to make money now while these things are happening so I can help as many people get to safety as possible. So I'm going to pay attention to where the demand is for the utility and the energy is focused at. That is the 3 pillars that I'm paying attention to. Where's the energy and attention? What is the demand? And who's got the utility? And that's why those cryptos, ChatGPT, myself, and Spirit, we were led to come up with that list. So guys, share this video, like this video, please get the message out. The United States has officially entered military action. Bombs have been dropped. I just reported earlier about the B-2 bombers leaving Missouri. So there you go, guys. It wasn't for show. Trump is a wartime president, just like he always wanted to be. MAGA, you're up. See ya.
What do y'all think, man? It's time, man. It's go time. Whether we're going to win it or whatever, and I'm pretty sure we will, but it's go time, gang. Let's continue.
The attack is now on the United States to bring down the United States as the ruling state in the world. But in the process of bringing it down, the United States have some very important work to do for Israel. I can identify tonight 2 very important things that the United States has to do for Israel. There are many more, but there's no need to do more than simply 2. In order for Israel to succeed the United States as a ruling state in the world, not only must the US economy collapse and the US dollar collapse, and when the US dollar collapses, it brings down the whole world of paper money with it. And if you don't believe me, just wait.
Listen to it. I'm giving y'all game today, man. If this is free game, stop and lay down, Diamond. Stop. I'm giving y'all free game today, man. Free game. Let's go. Listen to this, man.
To do more than simply 2. In order for Israel to succeed the United States as a ruling state in the world, not only must the US economy collapse and the US dollar collapse, and when the US dollar collapses, it brings down the whole world of paper money with it. And if you don't believe me, just wait. Just wait. Not only must the United States collapse its economy and its money, but in addition, Israel has to wage a big war, which even non-Muslim political analysts are now anticipating. A big war. Even Jews now within Israel, I'm getting emails, even Jews within Israel, Jewish academics who are up in opposition to the Sharon government, they are now understanding that there's something big about to happen. And they're warning the world about it. Of course, it's too late now. Israel has to wage this big war, which is already planned long ago. And the territory of the state of Israel will dramatically expand. And the Palestinian problem will be solved because they'll be exported out. That is the massive human rights crime that the Israeli academics are now anticipating and warning the world about. But in addition, in order for Israel to become the ruling state in the world, not only must she take control of all of this territory, she must also control the oil.
What y'all think about that, man? What y'all think about that? Yeah, man, it's gonna be some. They said that American dollar crashes. Y'all know what time it is.
France, Russia, and China, they were pretty much against the U.S. military action against Iraq, which led to the invasion, while we see Iran standing on its own.
Let me ask you now about Iran's next move and the response they're likely to take now. There's talk in the Iranian parliament right now of withdrawing Iran from the NPT, Iran's participation in the nuclear proliferation treaty. What would be the significance of that? What would be the implications of Iran withdrawing from that treaty and the timeline of it?
I'm not sure this would be actually in the interests of Iran, because if the Iranians would do that, basically they would be joining a country like North Korea. And I don't think Iran wants that. The rhetoric, for example, earlier today, we were listening to the Iranian ambassador to the United Nations. He was very clear even about the limitations and the types of targets they are hitting inside Israel, let alone getting out of the NPT, because that would be basically going dark, and they would deny the IAEA inspections, and I don't think Iranians would do that, but they're waving with these because they're saying we are pushing us to the corner, and if you do that, we might take this action. The parliament yesterday voted, but it's not the ultimate authority. There are another two authorities that would have
For now, it's
to
just
accept.
a threat. It's just a threat. Thank you so much, Monad Saloom, for talking to us about this and giving us your insights on these latest developments in the Israel-Iran war. Well, earlier we spoke to Mark Fitzpatrick, who's an Associate Fellow for Strategy, Technology and Arms Control and a former Director of the NPT, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Program at the International Institute for Strategic Studies. He expects Tehran to leave the NPT and seek a nuclear weapon.
Iran has been threatening to pull out of the NPT for several years, threatening this as leverage in diplomacy. They've threatened it over various things. But now, given the enormity of the situation that Iran faces, I think it's beyond the time where they would use it for leverage. I think they would have to feel like they have to respond very visibly in some big fashion. And pulling out of the NPT is one of the few cards actually they can play on the diplomatic stage. If Iran pulls out of the NPT, it doesn't necessarily mean that any other country would, but Saudi Arabia has vowed to match Iran if Iran were to go for nuclear weapons. And if Iran pulls out of the NPT, that would be a signal that Iran was seeking to pursue nuclear weapons in secret. Not necessarily the case, but that was what everyone would understand it to mean. And so Saudi Arabia, I think, would think about pulling out itself. And there might be other countries. Egypt, for example, has long been concerned that Israel doesn't face any international monitoring. And Egypt says that's unfair. And so Egypt, if others pulled out, might think that it would be worth their while to pull out. And, there could be other countries around the world similarly fed up with the international nuclear war. Iran has been on the verge, you could say, for several months, even years. They've had this nuclear capability, but they haven't done it. Now, there's little reason for them not to do it, that they've been bombed. And so I fully expect Iran to pull out of the NPT, expel the inspectors, launch on a program of a nuclear weapons program with now all the resources of the country devoted to it. They don't have their top nuclear scientists. Israel assassinated 9 of them, but they have enough others who could be brought up to speed and could carry the program forward. And Iran has a critical advantage in this program because, they had produced over 400 kilograms of 60% highly enriched uranium, very close to the 90% needed for nuclear weapons. That 60% HEU, highly enriched uranium, was in cylinders which Iran surely removed before the attack and hid somewhere. So if they still have these cylinders of 60% enriched uranium, they don't have too much further to go to move it up to 90. They've got to build centrifuges, they've got to assemble the centrifuges, but I think they'll be able to do that within a year or so.
You're watching extended coverage of the latest attacks between Israel and Iran, a day after US military strikes on Iran's 3 main nuclear facilities. Iranian state media are reporting another attack by Israel on one of those sites, Fordo. There have also been explosions in Iran's capital. Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, says its forces are striking Tehran with unprecedented force. Missiles have landed in several areas, including near a hospital. Iran has in turn launched missiles towards Israel. Explosions have been heard in multiple cities, including in Tel Aviv and in Ashdod.
Oh, check this out again. I'm gonna let y'all see that one.
Multiple cities, including in Tel Aviv and in Ashdod.
Y'all see that shit?
Yes, including in Tel Aviv and in Ashdod. The sirens sounded across Israel for more than 35 minutes, which is the longest time since the conflict began 10 days ago. One of the missiles landed in Lachish, south of Jerusalem. Let's take this on now with Saeed Kadabzadeh, who's the...
What do y'all think about that? Man. I told y'all I had a good show prepared for y'all tonight, boy. I got some heat for y'all tonight. Let's continue.
So, my last video sparked up so much controversy about why the US bombed Iran's nuclear sites. So many people agreed that it was a necessary move to prevent nuclear threat, which is understandable, while others view it as an escalation of conflict. Now, Iranian officials have confirmed that the facilities were struck. However, they denied that it had suffered a major blow. Due to the depths of these nuclear sites, it's not 100% guaranteed successful. But the force used by the US military is the only bomb that can come even relatively close. Trump also warned that future attacks will be far greater unless Iran reaches a diplomatic solution. Now, granted, Trump's bold move has left Iran in a vulnerable state. However, this seems more like a pride thing to me. I feel like for all parties, ego is getting in the way. And this US strike on Iran has triggered protests internationally. Now, the UK, France, and Germany have called on Iran to avoid taking any action that could further destabilize the Middle East. But then again, Iranian officials do not seem like they want to look like a coward in this whole situation. Iran's next move can be even more momentous. Now, even though Iranian officials are under a lot of pressure, if they do too little, they could lose face. But if they do too much, they could lose everything. The US is not a wise battle to go up against. However, if Iranian plans to take out any type of successful attack, they know that they have to move strategically. There are now confirmed sleeper cells set up all across the United States. These were those illegal immigrants that was crossing the border when the border was wide open a few years ago. Y'all remember that man that said, y'all, you don't know who I am, but you will soon? And they had all that heavy artillery? There have already been reported sleeper cells in major cities across the United States, including New York, LA, and Miami. There are confirmed Iranian-backed operatives in over 20 American states. And the FBI is already warning for terrorist sleeping cells waiting to be activated across the whole United States. Honestly, I'm not really amazed that there are not that many people taking this serious, but for the ones who are taking it serious and would like to stay informed, keep following for more updates. I'm going to make sure I stay informed and share everything I know because we deserve to know what's going on and not be blindsided. And stay tuned for my emergency plan video that I'm going to upload next. Stay cautious and stay conscious. Love y'all. Bye.
Man. So, like I said, United States is on high alert right now. They are on high alert because of alleged sleeper cells. Now, I gave y'all a list of sleeper cell states earlier, and y'all know the main targets are New York. They said the entire state of New York, Washington, D.C., and there was a couple of cities in California that should be worried. Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, a couple of spots in Texas, Ohio, y'all just go back through the video and watch the list. There's a few, there's like, I think 20 cities on that list that should be on high alert due to alleged sleeper cells that have been in America for a long time. They said these sleeper cells been here for years. When the border was wide open, allegedly, they slid right on in here and then they went rogue ever since. These people have since went off the grid. We don't know where they are. They know exactly where we are. We don't have no clue where they are. So these sleeper cells are very dangerous people. They're just waiting on the cue, or they might just take matters into their own hands. We don't know how they're gonna play it. We just know these people want smoke and they gonna get it one way or another. So stay woke on the sleeper cells. Do your research on sleeper cells and just know they somewhere out here. Let's continue.
Military bases in the Middle East remain vigilant after Iran threatened to retaliate after yesterday's strikes, which hit 3 of the country's nuclear facilities. The attack was the largest B-2 operational strike in U.S. history, utilizing 7 of the stealth bombers and more than 125 other U.S. military aircraft, according to the Pentagon. In total, the U.S. employed approximately 75 precision-guided weapons.
75 precision-guided weapons. Can everybody double tap that screen? We need 48 likes to 1,000. Double tap that screen. We got 1,600 people in here. Let's go.
Including 14 of the 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs and over 24 Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from a U.S. submarine. Lucas Tomlinson is live at the Pentagon with the latest. Lucas, what new information do you have for us tonight?
Well, good evening, Katie. Where did those other 31 bombs and missiles come from? They came from U.S. military fighter jets, which were the first into Iran ahead of the B-2 strike to launch this operation. Here was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane.
The U.S. employed several deception tactics, including decoys, as the 4th and 5th generation aircraft pushed out in front of the strike package at high altitude and high speed, sweeping in front of the package for enemy fighters and surface-to-air missile threats.
Now, this mission began with deception. 9 B-2 stealth bombers took off from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri just after midnight early Saturday. 2 flew west over the Pacific to act as decoys. But 7 of those B-2s did not fly west. They flew quietly to the east, not squawking with minimal communication. Their destination, Iran's underground nuclear facilities, of course. The B-2s entered Iranian airspace at 6 p.m. Eastern. 40 minutes later, those B-2s dropped those 14 massive bunker-busting bombs, 1250 underground uranium enrichment site in Fordo, 2 struck Natanz. And at the same time, those 15-ton bombs hit their targets. 30 Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from a guided missile submarine, just one, Katie, slamming into the nuclear site in Isfahan, the 3rd target. And this afternoon, those B-2s landed back home at their base in Missouri to complete their 37-hour round-trip mission. They were refueled at least 3 times in the air each way. And Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says this mission against Iran is not open-ended. It does not seek regime change. Katie?
From the air and the sea. Thank you, Lucas. Amazing. Good to see you.
Are you guys keeping up with this? Let me know in the chat by dropping them gems if you keeping up. If you still lost on what's going on, drop the eyeballs. If you are keeping up with the content, drop the gems. If you have no idea what's going on and you just here so you don't get fined, drop the eyeballs. Hey, double tap the screen, get the likes up, man. We got 1,000 likes on the screen. Salute to everybody in the chat. Let's continue.
All right, well, the United States successfully attacked 3 Iranian nuclear sites last night, including the Fordo facility, which was Iran's last untouched nuclear base buried deep underground and required the U.S. to use bunker buster bombs. These bombs were also used on the Natanz nuclear site. Meanwhile, U.S. submarines fired over 24 Tomahawk missiles at the Isfahan nuclear site, as well as the Natanz site. Joey Jones is here to break down why this mission was such a success and what might happen next. Over to you, Joey.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to get through these first few screens and I'm going to nerd out on the bomb real quick. So this is kind of a schematic of what happened. The red here shows you where the Tomahawks came in from. The blue shows you the egress, the coming in and the coming out of the plane. So let's go ahead and move forward and talk a little bit about the mission. 7,085 miles from Missouri straight to Iran. We don't know they went straight there, but pretty much. You see here it says it'll go about 6,900 miles before refueling. That's without 60,000 pounds of a bomb strapped to its belly. So it refueled multiple times along the way. I don't know exactly where, but to do an air refueling at night with a stealth bomber Man, just so impressive. So let's get to the bomb itself. We've heard a lot about it. I'm going to tell you probably a little bit more than I should, but that's okay. So what happens here is from here to here about, well, maybe down here, this is your penetrator. What happens here is you have two different types of explosives. So you've got, and these are plastic polymer explosives. So what they are, they're not very sensitive at all. So you have two different types of explosives, and it's wrapped and coated in 30,000 or well, 25,000 pounds of steel, because there's only about 5,500 pounds of explosives in here. What you have up here is your guidance unit. So all of the guidance happens up here. This is where your electronics are. This is what's stabilizing it and causing it to go on course. So what happens is, when this cone hits, it causes a chain reaction through multiple fuses. So that impact inertia is what we call it. You have different motions like setback, like when your car takes off, throws you back to seat, that's setback. When your car hits a wall, you go forward, that's impact inertia. When the impact inertia of it hitting the ground happens, you have a time delay fuse in here or a delay fuse in here. And what
Double tap that screen, get these likes up, gang. Let's go, let's go.
happens is it actually, I believe, initiates from the bottom and goes forward into your explosive. So think of a sensitive explosive here, a slightly less sensitive explosive, slightly less sensitive explosive, and that's so that they can withstand the impact of going into the ground 100 feet without blowing up from the sympathetic detonation. So what I really want to show you here is that this is super simple. This guidance unit, we use that on all types of guided bombs. The fuses that are in it, we use those fuses on all types of bombs. The explosives that's in it, that's explosives that we use all the time with various types of bombs. A penetrating bomb is not all that uncommon. So when we say the United States is the only country that has the capability to do this, a lot of it has to do with how it got there. The fact that we can deliver it the way we did. And we're the only country that's put the parts together and said, we have this capability, dare you to dig something in the ground, and that's what happened. So I want to show you a little bit more kinetic version of that map we showed you earlier. So what we're learning happened is when the naval ship...
Somebody said they lost in the sauce. I don't know how you watching this live and you lost. We have chopped everything up to the most simplest forms that everybody should be able to understand. Maybe you got to run the live back, but I think this is self-explanatory. But let's continue to cook.
Ship set off the Tomahawk missiles. From my understanding of the timeline is they actually fired the missiles before the stealth bombers got into the area of operation. The missiles went very far, obviously, and then the stealth bombers were able to do their thing before the Tomahawk missiles hit. So that's that coordination, that's synchronizing that we talk about. These missiles, the Tomahawk missiles, what makes them so effective is they're essentially drone planes. They have the ability to change course, even change target while flying. So any type of missile, unlike that bomb I just showed you, it has propulsion behind it. So the warhead, the actual payload is not going to be as much because so much of it is the rocket fuel used to get it there. And from my recollection, I think there's only about 1,000-pound bomb in those Tomahawk missiles. That's probably why they fired so many of them. And then to move on here to the very last screen, these are the bases of our men and women in uniform that are vulnerable to attack now. I can't tell you an ordnance order of battle. I can't tell you which one of these is a higher target than the other, but I can tell you I lived at the Al Asad Air Base, and that is a very important air base for us. It's big, it's fortified. I don't know what we have there, but I would imagine it's assets we need. Any of these that say air base, in my opinion, are a higher value target because it's my belief that if Iran comes back with a measured response, not trying to draw blood, but to take away assets to show that they can respond, they're going to go after maybe planes and things like that. I don't know that. I haven't heard that. That's my presumption as a ground troop that just knows how to play the game Risk. So guys, hopefully that was educational, helped you understand some of the rhetoric and some of the explanations that have come across. At the end of the day, what you need to know is that our military is badass. And when it comes to conventional war, we are the conventional superpower.
Yes, indeed. And you are...
Yeah, that dude, he knows some shit. He kind of scared me. That dude knows some shit. I don't know who that was, but he definitely knows some shit. Let's continue.
All of America and Israel's efforts have gone to waste. The attacks have failed because what Russia is about to do next will shake them to their core. Their senses will be blown away by what Russia is planning. Do you know who this man is appearing on your screen right now? From 2008 to 2012, He was the president of Russia. During his presidency, Putin served as prime minister. But the world widely believed, and rightly so, that Putin was the real president, and this man was just a front. He served as president for 4 years. Then from 2012 to 2020, he became Russia's prime minister. Now he is the deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, one of Putin's closest allies and part of his inner circle. His policies mirror Putin's exactly. Now listen carefully to what he just said, a statement that will shake the ground beneath the feet of the US and Israel. He has declared that multiple countries are now ready to provide nuclear warheads to Iran. That's right. Iran won't need to develop nuclear weapons from scratch anymore. It will be handed fully built nuclear warheads. Iran already has the missiles. Now all it needs is to place a warhead on them, and then it can directly strike. Whether that strike is on America, Israel, or any global power, the threat is now real. Now think about this. Who gave him permission to make such a bold statement? Clearly with Putin's approval. He further said that America thinks it scored a major victory by damaging Iran's nuclear sites. But in reality, the core nuclear infrastructure of Iran was not destroyed. Only minor, repairable damage occurred.
I told y'all, a lot of people are saying that we did not do what we thought we did with nuclear weapons there. Allegedly, they still got the nuclear weapons, and not only do they have them, they got some friends that said, we'll lend you some to go fuck them up, meaning us. So, I don't know. I don't know nothing, man. I'm just saying, look, man, I'm just a messenger. Don't try to come at me. I'm just a messenger, y'all. I did a poll in the chat, though, and I said, do you agree with Trump's Iran bombing? Yes, he had no choice to, is 46%. No, now we will go to war is 54%. So 46% of the room agrees with Trump. 54% of the room does not agree with him, with 2,100 votes on that poll. Can everybody vote on that poll? Let's continue.
He stated bluntly, you think Iran won't become a nuclear power? Of course it will. You couldn't even destroy their material. It's impossible now. And here's the explosive news. The world's nuclear powers are now preparing to arm Iran directly. Imagine that. He even claimed Israel is trembling right now, while Iran has survived and is moving forward. And in the midst of all this, Donald Trump still wants to be known as the president of peace, even as the world edges closer to global war. But now the entire world is standing against the US and Israel. The Iranian foreign minister is already headed to Moscow on an emergency visit.
Don't you guys understand what it means for Israel and the United States to work together for this? And all I can say is when it happens, everything is coming crashing down. If this goes according to plan, there will be a one world. I don't want to say it. You guys can say it in the chat. There will be, everything will be moving on one accord. And there goes the value of the dollar, which we're never going to need again. And it's coming.
Think about it. Iran was just attacked, and instead of remaining in country, their top diplomat is being summoned urgently, in spite of airspace closures and grounded flights. Putin has called him. Why? Because Russia is likely going to provide Iran with nuclear warheads. Only 2 countries in the world can do this. 1, Russia. 2, North Korea. But it won't be North Korea. They lack deep enough ties. Russia is stepping up. Russia has around 5,500 to 6,000 nuclear warheads. Even if they quietly hand over 30 to 50 of them to Iran, no one would know. And even...
That's scary shit, right? Excelling, thank you for being a member for 13 months. Drop the flowers for excelling. Salute. Is it possible to rerun the poll to see how many minds changed since you have supplied so much info? We'll do that at the end. Salute, though. Thank you.
If they did find out, what could they do? Russia is already under heavy global sanctions and completely isolated. They simply don't care anymore. And if Russia gives Iran nukes, it's game over for Israel and its allies. Modern missiles, whether hypersonic, ballistic, or cruise missiles, only need a nuclear warhead added. And then it's just the press of a button. This Russian leader clearly declared, Iran will receive nuclear weapons. And what did Iran's foreign minister say? When we retaliate, the world will tremble. They'll see what Iran is capable of. This game is now beyond US or Israeli control. Iran's next moves could shatter their assumptions. You've seen satellite images. The materials were moved before the attack. Iran even stated that they were tipped off from inside the US, so they had already moved their assets. Now the stage is set for direct confrontation. And remember, this same Russian leader recently said, if you want to scrutinize Iran's nuclear program, why don't you first inspect Israel's nuclear weapons, which are confirmed in secret? Iran's program isn't even confirmed yet. So this is now an open game. The statement wasn't made in secret. They publicly declared what's coming. You have triggered World War III, and now there's no turning back. Trump may deny involvement, but the deed is done. Now comes the destruction, and you'll have to face it. Do you think China won't support this? Watch what happens next in Yemen. Iran is already changing the balance. In just 7 minutes, Iran turned parts of Tel Aviv and other cities into rubble. So Iran will not stop now. Understand this. The global system has changed. If you try to destroy a powerful ally, that ally will be armed to fight back. And the moment nuclear war begins anywhere, it won't stay limited to one country. Even France recently said they're preparing to deploy nuclear warheads across Europe. The UK said the same. So if they're preparing for global war, why wouldn't Russia? They will provide warheads to Iran, maybe even put them in Iranian hands without official fingerprints, letting anonymous sources leak it. Russia has made its decision. It will not let Iran fall. And Iran? It has the most combat experience against Israel of any country in recent history. No one else has inflicted such damage on Israel like Iran has over the last few days. Iran's drones are unstoppable. What it needs now is nuclear warheads, and Russia is ready to give them to ensure the survival of Iran's regime and to push back against Western designs to overthrow it. Today's attack failed. The material was saved. Everyone in the US knows this now. Even Russia has confirmed it. You couldn't destroy Iran's nuclear material, but you've crossed a red line. And now Russia has decided to stand with Iran unconditionally. So to those asking, what is Russia doing for Iran? Here's your answer. It's doing the most dangerous thing imaginable, and the whole world should take notice.
Man. Scary times, right? I don't know, gang. Is WW3 coming? Let me know in the chat. Let's continue.
This is the next target. You have been warned? Bro, what am I looking at? Why is the Iranian military tweeting this out? What do you mean we have been warned? What is this? Next target. Genuinely, what is actually meant by this? I know, we kind of rage baited Iran. We rage baited them. You rage baited them. And now look what happened. You poke the bear, who keep poking him and poking him. On the last time you poke him, he explodes. And not gonna lie, I think they're very mad because apparently the US bombed 3 countries in Iran or something, and now they're very mad. They want to bomb this, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what I'm looking at. Is this some sort of building? I don't know, but it looks like if you bomb this, it might be pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. We all remember what Iran said. We do not fear war. We were born in it, but you've only fought the weak. Come and taste what real resilience means. Bro, geez.
Yo, what these dudes said? We do not fear war. We were born in it, but you've only fought the weak. Come and taste what real resilience means. What in the fuck they talking about, gang?
Jeez, Iran, I get it. You're trying to get your get back. I get it. But at least leave me out of this, bro. I am literally a harmless person. I have nothing to do with this. Phony.
Man. They've been tweeting out some shit too, but they tweeting this is real life, Chirac, Chicago shit. I feel like I'm back in the King Von and Lil Durk days back in the day, man. OTF in the building or some shit.
Huge updates on the Israel-Iran war after the United States chose to use bunker bombs to completely obliterate, according to President Trump, 3 nuclear facilities in Iran. So Iran came out with multiple statements throughout the day today, and one of them being that basically any military base, United States military base over in the Middle East, is now fair game for them to attack. So I'd expect an attack on a military base. I know Trump wanted this to de-escalate. I don't think they want peace, and I don't think they're going to make peace. I think they want to continue with the nuclear program, And that's just what's going to happen. And Iranian media also came out with a statement threatening the United States, saying that basically there's going to be some big attack against the United States. Now, it's probably an attack in the Middle East against one of our bases, but who knows? And it's probably just another empty threat by Iran. They make a lot of those, right? Now, the bigger threat to me is the sleeper cells that we have located right in our country, on our own soil, that can be activated by Iran whenever they want, basically. Now, we don't know the capabilities or how dangerous they actually are. However, Tom Homan and Marco Rubio both put out a statement warning the American public just to, watch out in case anything happens. And Tom Homan also admitted and acknowledged that although they know where some of these are and who they are, they don't know where a lot of them are or how many that we have throughout the country. Because we know Joe Biden let tens of millions of illegal immigrants into our country, not knowing where they come from, what their purpose is, what they want to do with our country, right? Take advantage of it. That's what a lot of them did. But that's the real threat to me, because we don't know, we have no protection from them, and basically we're just reacting. We're not being proactive about them. And the final aspect and update to this war is the Straits of Hormuz. And the Iranian parliament actually voted today to shut it down. Now, will that actually happen? I don't think so, because Iran is allied closely with China, and China gets basically all of its oil from the Straits of Hormuz. So I don't think it will happen, but the fact that they're even threatening it, just shows you an escalatory action by Iran. So I don't think it's going to happen, but even threatening that is increasing the price of oil right now. You can go check it out. So all this being said, and the bottom line is this is going to escalate. This is not going to de-escalate the situation and the tensions in the Middle East. This is only going to escalate from here. I think Trump's plan is not a solid plan. I disagree heavily with these attacks, because we already see the response and retaliations from Iran and surrounding countries that this is not going to stop here. And also, Russia and North Korea actually said possibly that they will help the nuclear program in Iran, or just give them the warheads straight up. So we have that to worry about as well. And as well as just Russia, China, all these different countries joining in on the war to protect Iran, leading to obviously a larger scale war, more money, more damage, more lives lost. So we have all that. But I think the real next step of what's going to happen next is either Iran's going to strike a military base over in the Middle East, I think that's a high probability, or one of these sleeper cells gets activated right here in the United States. I think that's a decent probability as well. I think the highest is Iran striking a military base in the Middle East. That's the easiest to carry out. However, a sleeper cell, that would directly escalate the war to measures that we don't even know. So that's where we're at. That's where we stand. So let me know in the comments what you think about this. Do you agree with President Trump? Do you agree with my take? Let me know, and be sure to share the story.
Man. Let me know in the chat too, gang. What are y'all thinking, man? Do y'all agree with Trump, or do you not agree with him? And vote on that poll to let me know for sure. Let's go.
The US has just bombed Iran, claiming it destroyed key parts of Iran's nuclear program. And now the world is on edge, with everyone asking the same question. How will Iran respond, and could this lead to all-out war? Here are 4 possible scenarios, each more dangerous than the last. Scenario 1 is Iran does nothing. Trump called the strikes a one-off, warning Iran not to retaliate. And Iran, knowing it's outgunned and unable to stop US and Israeli jets, might choose survival over escalation. But this would show weakness, emboldening enemies and risking more attacks. And at home, it could trigger backlash from hardliners who see it as a surrender. This means that more likely is scenario 2, a limited retaliation. Iran has already declared that every US soldier and base in the region is a legitimate target. But the question here is, how far will Iran go? If US soldiers are killed, America will almost certainly strike back harder, maybe even target Iran's supreme leader. But that could start a full-blown war. And so to avoid that, Iran might strike carefully, maybe giving advance warning like they did after the US killed General Qasem Soleimani in 2020. But this time the stakes are even higher, and so Iran might decide not to hold back. Scenario 3 is that Iran hits the US economy by blocking the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the world's most important oil routes, with around 20% of global oil passing through it. Even a partial shutdown would send oil prices soaring and shake the global economy. But that move would likely trigger US retaliation and drag Gulf allies like the UAE and Saudi Arabia into war. It could also anger allies Russia and China, who rely on stable oil markets. So this is a very dangerous wildcard to play. But Iran's parliament have already voted in support of this option, meaning it is a real possibility at this point. And finally, scenario 4 is to go nuclear. Iran may decide that the only way to stop future attacks is to actually commit to building a nuclear bomb. And logically it makes sense, because North Korea has nukes and no one dares to attack them. And after trying unsuccessfully to negotiate for years, Iran could conclude that diplomacy has well and truly failed, and that the only real security comes from nuclear weapons. But if the US and Israel see Iran racing for a bomb, they may strike again, this time aiming for full regime change. And that could unleash a devastating war with mass civilian casualties. So, what happens next? No one knows, but one thing's clear. We are in uncharted territory, and the risk of escalation is very, very real. Follow for more explainers and updates as this worrying situation unfolds.
Yeah, man, it's up right now. I just hope everybody out there is being real safe and smart, because we're in unfamiliar territory right now.
Correspondent Aaron Katursky, and I know a lot of Americans right now wondering what this means for us, potential threats to the homeland. And you've been talking to law enforcement agencies. We know the NYPD and other agencies across the country ramping up their resources. What are some of the biggest concerns right now?
They're already deployed this morning. The NYPD and a number of other police agencies are deploying to cultural, religious, and diplomatic locations associated with both Iran and Israel. The NYPD said this is out of an abundance of caution, not because of any specific threat, though you heard Iran's top diplomat say during Ian's piece that his country reserves all options to retaliate. Iran may be weakened, but it could still order or encourage attacks on U.S. government institutions, infrastructure, and individuals. Proxy groups have struck U.S. military targets before, and Iranian cyber attacks have compromised water and wastewater systems in the U.S. in the past. Iran has also targeted dissidents living in the U.S. and plotted to assassinate President Trump himself over the killing of top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani during Trump's first term. So law enforcement is taking no chances here. Iran will now see the U.S. as a belligerent actor in these hostilities and so the U.S. homeland is considered by Iran now a legitimate target.
Man. Now we are just sitting targets, y'all. We don't know where it's coming from. We don't got no clue. They're not gonna tell us shit.
Just got punched in the face by the world's biggest military
My bad.
Iran just got punched in the face by the world's biggest military, the United States. B-2 bombers dropped bunker busters on Iranian nuclear sites. Their nuclear facilities have been struck by never before used GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrators, or MOPs. Now they have to choose how to respond, and every option is a potential disaster, but we're going to go through each of them. Let's break down Iran's potential playbook, analytically speaking. I'm not taking sides here, but, you can take sides based on the information you have. First through each of them. Let's break down Iran's potential playbook, analytically speaking. I'm not taking sides here, but, you can take sides based on the information you have. First option, the proxy war goes global. Iran has spent decades building a network of allies across the Middle East. Hezbollah, the Lebanese paramilitary in the south of Lebanon, which is the north of Israel, they've been degraded, but their capabilities may remain significant, though hidden for this time. If Iran decides to activate them and say go all out, unleashing them would be potentially disastrous for Israel, who's already used up a significant number of their interceptor missiles for Iron Dome, fighting Iran these last 9-10 days. The Houthis in Yemen are already threatening to leave the agreement they made with the United States and start retargeting US shipping. That could pop off and get very bad in the Red Sea. And the Bab al-Mandeb Straits. That's the straits south of the Arabian Peninsula. The straits north are, of course, Hormuz. We'll get to that later in the video. Iraqi militia are mobilizing for potential strikes against US bases. Iran could unleash all of these separate proxies simultaneously. Palestinian resistance might think, okay, now's our time to go all in, turning the entire region into an absolute battlefield. Second option, economic warfare. Iran controls the Straits of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's oil passes through daily. One word from Tehran and global oil prices triple overnight. Imagine, good luck to Trump trying to convince the American citizens that already hate the idea of a war with war on the side of Israel, dying for Israel on the battlefield. Good luck convincing them that they now have to fill their tanks up at the gas station 3 times the price, and that's going to have a knock-on effect that might bring the entire American economy, in fact the global economy, why not, chuck it all in, yeah, set it all on fire, right, with the petrol that costs too much now. Iran might try that. It's an economic nuclear bomb Iran's been saving, and it might be that their view is this is the exact moment we've been saving it for. Triggering this is a gamble, it's a gambit. I've mentioned in previous videos, Iran will not do this. I said, in terms of my geopolitical forecasting, I said Iran will not do this because you do this and regional and international powers alike are forced to take action, and it hits everyone actually. China loves the oil coming through the Straits of Hormuz. China has this giant economy that it has to fuel, and fuel is needed, the black gold.
So my question is, if shit pops off, y'all, obviously we probably know we're pretty sure we know where Russia is leaning towards. And yeah, Young Wolf, what the hell is so funny in here? We all know what side Russia is going to be on, but what about North Korea, China, and other spots? Do y'all think they're going to go with us? Or do you think they're going to go with them? Let me know in the chat. It might get a little scary around here.
Cut off the Straits of Hormuz, close the gates. China's going to be upset as well. China's then going to be forced to take action either on Iran's side or cut ties with its natural ally Iran, potentially an unspeakable, turn back or a pivot away from Iran, and force the straits back open by fighting Iran. Right? Either way, China has to get more involved, which it doesn't want to do. Right? And the US would be forced to decide how important blind support for Israel really is. And one thing I'll cover in my next video, Russia's position also hardens. Right? Iran is flying their foreign minister today straight to Moscow to talk with Putin. I wonder what they have to say to each other. Russia is nuclear armed, fresh, not even fresh out, but
I don't know what the fuck my mods are even doing anyway. We're having a great night. There's no trolls in here. Y'all see one. Do what the fuck y'all do.
Fresh victorious from a proxy war where America basically thought, okay, we can't deal with the Russian bear, dropped Ukraine, I don't know anything about Ukraine, and just left, basically. So that's the position Russia's in. It's basically one against a NATO-backed Ukraine, geostrategically speaking. It's very much in its power to ally with, well, it's already allied with Iran. It's very much in its power to do something for Iran, support Iran in the Middle East region, if it wanted. Whether or not that's in Russia's best interest, we'll talk about in another video. It might be the next video, it might be a video after, because there's so many topics that I want to cover, so many questions that you guys have that I can provide a summarized analysis piece on, based on my experience, based on my research, based on my threat intelligence, professional capabilities, etc. So we'll have to, I can't guarantee it'll be exactly the next video, but that's the situation, right? China might step in, Russia might step in, Iran might close the Straits of Hormuz. That's a completely nuclear option. Imagine every single person in the world having to pay more for something or another, some sort of knock-on effect affected by the Straits of Hormuz closing. Iran might say, well, the world order is so trashed already. The West has once again shown that, diplomacy, de-escalation attempts, holding my punches back, nothing worked. I didn't escalate, but Israel managed to get the US involved anyway. So screw it, we're all going to be poor together. Welcome to global sanctions, right? You sanctioned me, I sanctioned all of you. Straits of Hormuz are closed for business, right? They could do that. Now, Iran has a third option, the nuclear sprint. Iran has enough enriched uranium to build multiple weapons. And after all, that's what Israel's been saying Iran is doing, right? I even mentioned myself that Iran may have adopted a nuclear hedging strategy, not having the bomb, but having the pieces in place so that they can rapidly put them together, assemble them, should the urgency demand it in the future. Using the US attack this morning as a reason, they could officially withdraw from the nuclear NPT, the Non-Proliferation Treaty, and announce they're going for the bomb. They could do that, right? Suddenly, this isn't about preventing a nuclear Iran then, it's about managing a nuclear Iran. They're nuked up. What do we do now? Like that's a very different dynamic on the world stage. And as history has shown, unfortunately, I can't even say for better or worse, unfortunately, as history has shown, if you want the Western powers to treat you fairly, You show not consideration, not humility, not restraint. None of these, weak characteristics will get you anywhere. You show strength. Peace through strength is honestly the only formula so far, analytically speaking, that has worked with the West.
Salute to Detroit the Barber for being a member for 21 months. Says check the updates. Iran fine ceasefire. Huh?
Any sign of weakness, they jump on it and they maintain the order where the West is right at the top and the rest are below them, and everyone has to fall in line or get absolutely ruffle stomped, essentially, to use gamer quote. You get absolutely cooked, you get smoked, right?
Okay, I just checked the updates, and AP News says live updates. Ceasefire status is unclear after Israel reports continued missiles from Iran. So there is no ceasefire.
Russia is the most recent success story of this strategy of peace through strength. They came into Ukraine, NATO supported Ukraine, Russia doubled down, kept pushing, and then NATO basically sort of fragmented. Western Europe panicked, the US yeeted itself out with Trump at the helm. Trump's now adopting the Russian stance, right? It's saying, Ukraine, contributed to the start of this war. It wasn't all Russia. Russia bad is not the narrative that gives the full picture. Trump is accepting the Russian grand narrative. So Russia demonstrated, you just have to hit them hard enough, and they suddenly come to their senses. Like punching a bully back, that's the only thing that gets a bully sort of listening to you. Otherwise, they don't respect you. They'll just keep stepping over you. That's the analytical theory that peace through strength is the only language that the West understands. Now, Iran so far, the most recent example of how trying to de-escalate just gets you backslapped harder, right? So maybe they'll switch tack, maybe they'll think, okay, holding back my punches, forget it. Let me just punch with everything absolutely that I've got, right? I'm already on the way down now that the US has stepped in, even though I didn't escalate. They might think that, right? Fourth option, the China card. Beijing needs Iranian oil and hates American dominance, but so far has not been forced to take action. They haven't been forced to make a move yet.
So China would be leaning towards the Iranian oils because they need it, allegedly.
So they've been quietly developing, quietly growing, quietly increasing their sphere of influence, economically speaking. Iran could formally invite Chinese military protection for some sort of concession or some sort of Iranian alignment with China that benefits China greatly, turning this into a great power conflict. One side you'll have Israel backed by America, and the other side you'll have Iran backed by China. Oh no, I smell World War III. Fifth option, asymmetric chaos. Cyber attacks on American infrastructure.
So that would mean
executed by Iran.
So that would mean it would be Iran and America versus China, and it would be Israel and America versus Iran and China with possibly the help of Russia. That's crazy work.
Iranian cyber divisions, potentially with Russian and Chinese help. Those two states also have very robust cyber capabilities. I work in cybersecurity, and let me tell you, these three states, for the amount of money they have, far outstrip what the West can manage, right? Far outstrip what the West can manage. Now, if you don't take into account the money they have, you just look at cyber capabilities, it's about evenly matched, actually, right? Israel has great cyber capabilities. The US has great cyber capabilities. There's Five Eyes in the Western world, which is the 5 countries that share intelligence. Their cyber capabilities are, fantastic, basically, in terms of effectiveness. But Russia, China, Iran, they have extremely good cyber capabilities. Saudi Arabia too, but that's kind of leaning on the Western side because they're well within Western sphere of influence. So cyber capabilities here, big headache if this is the track that Iran chooses to go down. As in the cyberspace, plausible deniability, basically saying, I don't know, that wasn't me, I don't know where that hack came from, even though they were speaking Chinese in the chat. That kind of situation might unravel, right? That might unfold, and that's a way for Russia and China and Iran to fight back against the US without actually, China actually fighting directly with the US. They can just say, I don't know, I didn't hack you at a state level, but I might have helped the hackers, but you can't prove it. So, that's the situation you might get to. And it's much easier, what I'm saying is much easier to deny cyber attacks than real attacks. As I was saying, it's easier to avoid a direct confrontation, but still do damage through cyber attacks. Now, Iran's Revolutionary Guards and the state cyber capability has the ability to cause massive trouble to America, where they're most vulnerable, arguably, the domestic population who don't have a desire for war. Fan the flames there helping the domestic population in America say no to war, no to war. And what started out as an Israeli desire for regime change in Iran could end up as regime change in Israel and chaos in America, potentially regime change in America. Not that likely. But here's Iran's biggest challenge. And you might have realized, congratulations, you've gone past the 10-minute mark. I've somehow managed to make a TikTok video longer than 10 minutes. That's how bad this crisis potentially could get. My videos have broken, the TikTok rules. Now, here's Iran's biggest challenge. They can't win a conventional war against America. So they have to choose between submission, which the Iranian government may not be able to survive, or escalation, which the Iranian country as a whole may not be able to survive. That's the corner Trump has backed them into. The corner Israel is delighted to see Iran in. But a cornered animal has to fight for its life. You'd be surprised how capable such a beast can be. And if you can't kill something, wounding it and then cornering it so it has to fight for its life is a fast way to get yourself killed. Trust me. Source, trust me, bro. Time will tell how things turn out, and I'll be here to report to you the news and the analysis unbiased and without the Western spin. Something that's very hard to get, by the way, in the English-speaking language. Even on TikTok, I see pro-Westerners who blindly support the Western narrative, and I think, why are you even on here? Just, your followers can just watch BBC or Sky News. But what can my followers watch? Where are you going to get unbiased, without the Western spin, news delivered in a summarized way in English? I'll tell you where. My name is Mahfouz Talukta. That's where, and I'll see you on the next one.
Man, he did a good breakdown too of exactly what's going on, man. This is some crazy times we're in, man.
They tell you the conflict between Israel and Iran is about religion. They tell you it's about politics. They never tell you it might be about a father. Before 1979, Iran and Israel were allies. Then came the revolution, and everything changed. Ayatollah Khomeini rose to power with fire in his blood, not just for Islam, but for revenge. You see, his father was killed when he was a boy, and for the rest of his life, Khomeini blamed the Shah's dynasty for it. He didn't just oppose the Shah, he hated him. He hated the monarchy, he hated the West that backed it, and he hated Israel for being part of it. From exile in Paris, Khomeini broadcast sermons into Iran, using freedom to destroy freedom. France thought they were harboring a holy man. They were actually giving a platform to a revolutionary. And when he took control, the old alliance with Israel was buried. In its place, a holy war. Missiles, terror proxies, nuclear threats. Not because Iran was always Israel's enemy, but because one man's grudge became a regime. So the next time someone tells you this is just religion, tell them it's also personal. And it still is. My friends, we are all anonymous, and sometimes the most dangerous wars begin in a fatherless home.
The French government had hoped that Khomeini would bring Iran democracy, but their view changed after 1979. For nearly 5 months, the Ayatollah lived in the countryside near Paris.
It was in this quiet village on this street that Ayatollah Khomeini planned the Iranian Revolution, and each day dozens of his followers from across Europe would come here to watch him pray and listen to him preach.
Get the likes up, double tap that screen. Salute to Miss Rocka for being a member for 7 months. Drop them flowers for Miss Rocka. She says, salute Ratchet Gang. We all need to stay prayed up. Lord help us. Salute, salute, salute. You are so right. Lord help us all. So, yeah, we might be at the end of times, gang. We might just be what y'all think.
Donald Trump ass win by default, man. He is the last president of the U.S. the United States of Earth, nigga. This shit is over with, nigga. That story in Revelation is about the end of the world. It's about the end of their motherfucking world. Yeah, in Revelations, and the great beast, the 10-headed serpent, wasn't allowed to trade with anyone anymore. None of the merchants would trade with her. And everybody stood back and watched her sink, and they was like, oh, woe to that great beast, Babylon. Nigga, they was talking about America, nigga. Talking about, that's what's gonna happen. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. We good, though. That's it. We good. See what I'm saying? They took this shit from us. We wasn't killing each other. We wasn't disrespecting our women. It wasn't like that, y'all. So everything we did, we get past. That should get a pass. We was under spells, y'all. We was spells. We had been enslaved. That's what really happened. They put spells on us. They locked our DNA, nigga. They enslaved this nigga. They put drugs in the kid. All this shit had us at each other. Facts. This is a fact.
Man. Let's continue.
You got motherfuckers under the White House that ain't never seen a day of light of day. All this shit for the interfere, nigga. Just like I told y'all, Donald Trump is your last president. Let me put y'all on game. I'm gonna let y'all know how they fucked y'all over. Listen, do you know that you cannot impeach? You can only impeach a president, right? You do know that, right? So if Joe Biden is the new president, how the fuck was they able to impeach Donald Trump after Biden was elected? See how y'all don't be really knowing about politics and shit. Y'all just be talking and let these white people talk to y'all any kind of way. Go look in their motherfucking law. Go look in their motherfucking law. And then you come back and let me know, can you impeach a former president? Nigga, that's the case, nigga. They impeach George, the Bushes, the Clintons, everybody. They can't do that, nigga. You cannot, in American law, you cannot impeach a former president. But when I told you motherfuckers that Donald Trump was the last president, y'all thought I was lying. Biden got elected. I even showed y'all a book. That's the book of sorcery. Nigga, he did not get elected. Why you think they impeached Donald Trump, but he won the shit? Because Donald Trump is still the president. You can only impeach a current president, nigga. They lying all over your motherfucking head. And y'all want to question the wind. I'm the only one with my pineal gland wide open. The niggas trying to question the real. You out here thinking that Joe Biden president goofy. You don't even deserve to be in the presence of a god. Take your bitch ass back down to that low ass frequency. When you come back up here when you got some sense and you got some humility, man. You step in my university, you step in with respect for this intellect, man. You're not just listening to no motherfucker talk online. I am that I am. You see that fuck my son out there, he gonna shine bright. I don't give a fuck what they said on the news, because see, y'all believe in them. So that's why whatever they tell y'all, you believe it, so you're creating. I don't give a fuck what they said, nigga. If I say the sun gon' shine, it's gon' shine around me. It's gon' shine around that nigga.
Man. What y'all thinking tonight, man? What y'all thinking about this? This is crazy. Very important live that we had to do, man. Very important live that we had to do. Yeah, I just noticed I put my King shirt on tonight. Yeah, that's I actually just put it on just because I want to wear red. Put my Texas hat on and put my King shirt on. But yeah, it means a lot for this live, man. And I just hope everybody stay woke, stay prayed up, and understand this is not only religious, this is spiritual, this is personal to some. These are times that, I mean, your faith will be tested. These are gonna be the times where you're gonna be tested the most, man. It's gonna be hard to eat out here for some people. That's what I'm telling you. Get up on AI technology. Understand what this is. Understand how to. There's now content creators that are AI. You know what I'm saying? AI is taking over. The crypto coin is going to take over. All systems are going to fail here, possibly, eventually, allegedly. Look, I don't know what I be talking about, man. I just be saying stuff. Don't believe nothing I say this day. Just do your own research. But hopefully everybody does do their research and understand to stay woke, understand to learn about this cryptocurrency, understand to learn about this artificial intelligence, and understand that what you're looking at is not exactly what the hell is going on. Even with this bombing and this retaliation, I do believe everybody's playing under the same playbook. And I think everybody knows something bigger is going on, and this is another distraction. I think that what we're looking at is a distraction for what we really should be looking at, kind of like the Diddy case. The Diddy case is a distraction to cover up for things like this, and this is a distraction to cover up for things that we don't understand. Stay woke on what I'm talking about. Understand what's in that sky and in that ocean, as above, so below. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all better get into your spirituality. I ain't gonna say get into your religion, and then get into your spirituality. Understand what the hell really going on. Read the Bible, because a lot of things in that Bible is playing out right in front of your face, man. What do y'all think in the chat, though, man? I want to read some comments. Let me know what y'all thinking in the chat, man. Say distraction for sure. They said amen for sure. They said talk to him, King. Great live tonight. Drop the gems for Ratchet. Drop them gems in the chat if y'all rocking with the content. Let's go. They said the Ovian is outer space. Amen, brother. Ratchet, read Revelations 13:3. Hold on. Let's go to it. Let's go to 13:3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Man. Yeah, I mean, we had some times, man. I just hope everybody's staying prayed up out here, man. So Jeremiah 49, they said, crown of life, it's the reptiles. It's not religion. It's culture. They said Gog and Magog. What's going on now has been written already, and we can't control it. What's written, we can't change. What's meant to be, we cannot change it, nor can we explain it. It's meant to be. And these are things that we were meant to see. These are things that were meant to be and things we were meant to see, and we're going to be a part of history. Mark my words, man, this generation, if you are still living, if you are still breathing, be thankful, because these are going to be the times where you are going to get to witness history in the making. You're going to get to watch the collapse of the dollar. You're going to get to watch the rise of cryptocurrency. You're going to get to witness what they've been trying to get us to do for a long time, which is an NWO, a one world order, allegedly. I don't know, could possibly be. This could possibly be a setup, and they could be running a play just to get everybody in line. Like, hey, look, we protecting y'all. You know what I'm saying? You should listen to us. Let's do this. Let's do it like that. Then here comes the mark of the beast. Then you're going to be going to the grocery store, and you're going to buy groceries like this. Or like this, however they decide to do it. I think they're gonna put a chip like somewhere, and you be like, doo-doo, or do an eye scan, and you just doo-doo. That's gonna be your bank. This is your bank right here. This is your ID. This is your DNA. This is everything. It's gonna be right here. Doo-doo. Everywhere you go, it's just gonna be a doo-doo. You're gonna go to the grocery store. Doo-doo. Doctor bill. Doo-doo. You gotta pay this bill. Doo-doo. Watch. Mark my words, man. It's all coming. And don't say your boy Big Ratchet didn't warn you, man. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the content. This is one of the biggest lives we've done in quite some time. And I ain't gonna lie, this is one of the biggest lives we've done in quite some time. How long we've been on here? 3 hours. So I want to get ready to end this live. And hopefully y'all get into the comment section. Let me know what everybody thought about tonight's content. I do appreciate all the love and support. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you got your notification bell turned on to all notifications. Make sure you double tap that screen on your way out the live and like the video. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, these are times that we gonna get in, man. And I think the song that I played, this is a song that's gonna be on the Ratchet album when it drops. Y'all be ready, man. We finna get ready to get up out of here. Y'all get ready for this one, man. Let's go.
For it was me and you, but you had other plans.
no peace around here, man. Let's run that back, and we finna get the hell up out of here, man. But they ain't gonna know peace around here, man. You won't know peace. Man. Hey, we finna get ready to get up out of here, man. But hey, look, I'm finna go grab one of my Frenchies. I'm gonna show you how big they done got. I'm gonna go grab Prince for y'all. I'll be right back. Let's jam that one more time. And I'll be right back, gang. Hold on, stay. I'll be right back, gang. Get up out of here, yeah. We finna get up out of here, gang. Say what's up, Prince. Say what's up. Say what's up to the gang. Say hi. How y'all doing? Y'all remember me when I used to be held with one hand? Y'all remember me? Y'all remember me? I'm Big Prince now. Say I'm Big Prince, not the little one. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, salute to the gang. I appreciate all the love and support, man. I think you're ready to get the hell up off here, man. I love y'all more than y'all will ever know. This your boy Big Ratchet. That's Ratchet Gang. And this is Ratchet TV. I'll catch y'all on the next one. My dog's going crazy. I gotta go. I'm out. Tone bite. We gone. Say bye, Prince. All right.